God, I thank you for this another time. And as we go through these few updates that we have here, I pray that your presence will not depart from this place. Most importantly, your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that comes from you and only you, God, will lead and guide us so that we may be reminded that everything that we do is for you and you only. Not for us, not for our agendas, but for you. I praise you and I give you thanks. In your precious name I pray. Amen. Amen. All right. So, guys, if you're joining, remember we have a petition of One Africa right now. So you can sign that. The link is in the comment section. And we're going to move forward. Okay. And also there's a video. I need to inform you guys there's video coming that we have filmed about the Niger situation. As soon as I finish this live stream, we'll be releasing a video. So you're welcome to support and to watch that video and to share as well your opinions and your thoughts in the comment section of that as well. All right, so what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to share with you guys this video that has been released also today about the president, I should say the ex-president of Gabon. And I'll give you information, a little bit of information. We're going to navigate through that video and talk a little bit about that video. All right. Talk about the message in that video because it's very important. So apparently, Ali Bongo, he actually released the video asking for help. And it's in my page here. I'll copy this and share with you guys. If you go to Swahili Nation, you can watch this video. He released asking for help video. And if you haven't seen, let me share here in the comment section. That is the video. You can go and watch. But right now, I want to go to show you guys this video. And I want us to talk a little bit about this video before giving you other updates that are here. All right? The video is not clear, you say. Wait. You can't hear me? Let's see. Setting. Hello? Can you guys hear me? Hello? All right, so you can hear me, right? Okay, so we're going to I'm going to share this video and we're going to talk a little bit about this video. I've been talking today for 5 hours, so I'm very tired. I'm not going to be here for long. Yeah, okay, let me show you guys this video a little quick. And we're going to talk about what this president was talking about. This guy is asking for help, and I think he filmed from his house. I don't know, maybe before they took the phone or whatever away from him. But I want us to talk a little bit about this, and then we're going to move forward. You guys can see and you can hear me, right? Let me just make sure, because I think there's something here is not right. See that they're trying. Something's not right. So let me just see this first. All right. You guys can see me. I might not be that clear. Well, what is happening? All right. That's good. So I'm going to play this video. Yes, good. All right. So listen to this video and let's talk a little bit about this video. Okay? Listen to this one. This is the journey to One Africa.
I'm Ali Bongo Ondimba, President of Gabon. And I'm to send a message to all the friends that we have all over the world to tell them to make noise, For the people here have arrested me and my family, my son.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about this video. We are starting from this place. There. So he is introducing himself as Ali Bongo, the president of Gabon. So basically, he still sees himself as the president of Gabon, right? And it's very interesting what he's going to say next, which is, it's very surprising. All right. So listen to that. So this message he's addressing to friends, all the friends he has all over the world. Okay, cool. You guys are not seeing. Where did the video go? Okay. Did you guys see the video? Okay, let me start this again. All right. Okay, let me rewind again. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Start from here.
Friends that we have in of Gabon. And I'm to send a message to all the friends that we have all over the world.
All right. So the message right now that he's sending is very interesting, that he's not sending the message to Gabonese, but he's sending the message to all the friends that he have all over the world. Basically, he's not asking for help from the people of Gabon, but he's asking support from the friends he had outside of Gabon. Basically, what he's saying is that, hey, guys, I've been there with you. We've been doing a lot of stuff, a lot of businesses, and right now I'm in trouble. So I'm sending this message to you all over the world. This has to tell you something about his mindset and what he thinks about the people of Gabon. He knows that the people of Gabon, they don't want him. He knows that he's hated. He knows that they don't want him. So he don't even bother sending message to the people of Gabon, but to the friends all over the world. And interestingly, he's not even sending in the language that mostly they speak, friends or whatever. So basically sending to everybody. If it is friends, if it is the US, if it is whoever, I'm sending this message to our friends all over the world. Let me rewind that again. I want you guys to listen to that again. It's very interesting. He says,
to tell them to... I'm Ali Bongo Ondimba, president of Gabon. And I'm to send a message to all the friends that we have all over the world.
He don't care about the people of Gabon. He sent this message. If you are the president of the country, you have been detained in the White House. This is not being captured, but you just, okay, you stay there inside, don't go anywhere. And then the first message he releases is to send to all the friends all over the world. He's asking for help somewhere else. All the friends I have all over the world, please come and help me. That's kind of mindset we have, our people. All right.
To tell them to make noise, For the people here have arrested me.
So basically, he's telling these guys that please make noise. Basically, he's saying, please, you have to speak against what is happening in Gabon right now. I need you right now. Please come and help me. Make noise. And when you see someone is repeating the words like twice, 3 times, means he's scared.
In my family, my son is somewhere. My wife is in another place.
All right. He says this. I'm trying to read this, everything he says, along the line. He says that my family, and then he says that my son has been taken away. So one thing about his son, there's a lot of evidence that shows that they have been preparing his son to become the next president after Ali Bongo. His son, which basically he's half is half white and half black, he has been having a lot of position in the Gabon governments, and he has been one of the very influential person, especially when it comes to business there in Gabon and other people around the world. And he has a lot of things that a lot of treason, I believe it's treason. They're saying a lot of treason along with corruption, with the bribery, with like forging the president's signature. President's signature means his dad. And he has even other accusation of drug trafficking, you know. So his son and his friends, a lot of them have this accusation of doing all this stuff. So basically, his son has been also captured somewhere else. Here he said that my son is somewhere else, and then he said my wife is somewhere. So basically, I mean, I believe maybe this was his wife taking him video. She was there taking him video, right? So he say I believe that's just me believing that it's, you know, exaggerating the situation that my wife is somewhere else. But you know, speaking about his son, everybody says, and it shows like he has been prepared to become the next president, because before Ali Bongo, his dad was president for 40 something years, and he has been president for 14 plus years. This was like another term, you know. And after, and you know, his dad, he died actually while in regime, right? So they had this process or procedure of making this a family thing. So he would have taken his son, and man, things, man, man, this guy, they knew. Maybe they saw this guys, they saw it, because the direction that they were going on. Don't be surprised if Gabon, the president of Gabon, will be France one day, French guy, because you know, you can see Ali Bongo, but his son is half, right? And his son also, he has a you know, French wife, right? So you can imagine that their son after that then would have been a president, and one day you just find out that you have another French looking guy as the president of Gabon. So this guy stepping in is basically to say that no, man, we can't keep allowing this guy taking over the government, and they've been doing a lot of treason. So okay, let's continue with the message. What he says. That's a little bit about his son, if you did not know anything about him.
I'm at the residence right now. I'm in the residence.
He's repeating again, but look at his hands. All right, this is very important to focus on. Look at his hands. I believe he's giving some details here in the ends. I cannot read hand sign, but if anyone can read hand sign, please let us know. What is he saying here? Because look at his hands. Look at what he's doing with his hands right now. Remember, this message is sending to people all over the world. He's sending to his friends. So basically, he's sending some sort of a message to them right now here. Look at his hands.
Right now, I'm in the residence. Nothing.
See, like he's doing something, like, you know, he's putting here and then he's tapping a little bit here, and then I believe there's some sort of message he's sending there. If anyone can read hand sign, please let us know what he's trying to say there. Here, look at it again.
Right now, I'm in the residence. Nothing.
See that?
Happening. Nothing is happening. I don't know what's going on. So I'm calling you to make noise, ready. I'm thanking you. Thank you.
All right. So he's asking everybody to make noise. His friends, not Gabonese. Remember, this message is not sending to the people of Gabon. If you are the president and you care about your people, the first thing that will come out of your mouth is to talk to your people. That are the people of Gabon. I want to tell you, don't believe whatever these guys, they're going to say. This is against the constitution of Gabon. This is against what we do. So this guy right here, you can clearly see that he's not sending message to his people, but he's sending message to his friends all over the world. That needs to tell you what he thinks about his own people and what he wants to happen to his country. To make some noise. I'm asking you guys to make some noise, Basically saying, I want you guys to come and to rescue me here where I am. Please come and rescue me. And you know, there will always be tragedy, especially when you open your country like that. You know, it's sad. It's sad that a lot of our leaders are making a lot of friends outside of their own country while they're making a lot of enemies in their own country. You know, it is sad. It is really sad, and that's what we see in Africa. Like, that's why if anything happens to them, they will run. You know, they run out of the continent and they will go somewhere else. They'll run out of the continent as soon as possible and they will go somewhere else, and that's what they do. So it's really sad that the only help and the only support that they can find is not even from their own people, but they can find it somewhere else outside of Africa. And now they're being judged with everything that they've been doing. You know, in the afternoon, we had a session here of 5 hours plus session, and you guys have seen, have seen how many evil things that, this family has committed over the years against the people. Remember, guys, since 1960 something. So they've been in the regime like for his dad, like 40 something years, and for him, 14 years. So for 60 years. They've been in regime for 60 years, guys. 60 years since independence. 60 years. And you can see clearly Ali Bongo, he's not healthy. You can see like he's shaking, like his hand is not shaking. I mean, he's shaking. You can clearly see that this guy is not healthy. For 60 years, a single family. And man, if you're in the regime in Africa, you just accumulating things for yourself. So now he sent this message. And the first thing is to send message to his friends all across the world to come to help him, to come and to support him. And he's talking about his son who has been committing as well a lot of treason and all those stuff. And so what the military say, they say, okay, we want you president of Gabon, you retired. They announced his retirement. First of all, they announced his retirement. And second, they say, we want you to enjoy your retirement. So basically, they're not going to do anything with him, which I think that is the big deal. That, I mean, is the good deal. Not doing anything with everything that they have done. Man, Africans, man. They say we are forgiving. They didn't say we're forgiving you, but they say we want you to enjoy your retirement. But his son, he's going to pay it. See, and all the cases that his son has, I think this guy is going to rot in prison. And they're preparing him to become the next president. So obviously, he's not going to have that time no more because of all the treason that he has committed for the past years. And now he's in the detention. And yeah, it's about time. Really, it's about time to see what is going to happen. I didn't see, I think France, they haven't said anything yet. We're waiting to see what's going to be the response from all these, international groups, because they always put their nose into our businesses. I wish they don't say anything, honestly, because this is none of their business. But, they'll always put their nose to talk about democracy. Democracy that is not even there. It's not even here. Yeah. So, yeah. So it's really about time. Things are escalating every single moment, every single minute. And yeah, so you guys have seen a video. I want to know what do you feel about that video. I'll read a few comments and then I'll be closing this session because, by the way, we have a video coming up and I don't want to take much of the time, but I'll just go through a few comments that are in here and then we'll release that video and it will be enough for today. We are in a new generation and Africans opening their eyes. Absolutely. They have been committing atrocities and they have been wicked. Let the young show a positive approach to this president and lead by example in their coups without any further bloodshed. Amen to that. Africans, we are tired of hypocrisy. Old men, they have to go, all of them. Amen to that. Amen to that. It's time to get out of here. We are in a new generation, so African Americans are opening their eyes. Unpopular opinion, William Ruto is the puppet as we never knew. It's unfortunate cause of... All right, we ain't talking about him right now. When I woke to hear this morning, I said, yes, the young people are waking up to reality of French control. Give thanks and hope that the African rising continues. Yeah, friends, right now, they just need to pack they just need to pack everything they got and go and get out of here, man. I don't know. Every time when I'm having a session, people, they call me a lot. I don't know. I don't like the make noise. Hopefully it's not bad. Myself as well. You know what he says in this video? I want you to make noise. I want you to make a lot of noise. Make a lot of noise. This guy is scared. He knows what is about to come to him. And he's asking everybody to make noise for him. His friends, by the way, not really Africans. It's really sad, man. It's really sad. That's how a lot of Africans people feel about their leaders. Let me tell you this. Leaders, man, even if you see people they love you. They show all those loving face and they say, oh, we love you, man. They ain't really love you. They will turn back on you anytime. Even those who are working close to you, because they know how many stuff I've been doing to our people. So really, it's sad that African leaders, they don't have friends in their own continent because of the wickedness that they've been committing for so long. Oh yeah. So I have His Excellence, my brother. Let me bring him in. My brother, His Excellence, right here. Let me bring him in to come here. Yeah, my Excellence will be coming here, and yeah, I'll give him some chance because my Excellence, he didn't say anything today. This is what is happening. My tribe is born to be a leader. The other are nothing. look at this African. Look at this African. There's a stupid African here commented that this is what is happening. My tribe is born to be the leader, and others are nothing. I'm Amelie Faber. I don't know what kind of person are you, man. This is the world we're living in. The reality of the world we're living in. Some stupid African write that. This is ignorant, and this guy need to be educated. All right, get that. That is for you. Somebody say my tribe is born to be a leader, others are nothing. It's basically, this is the Greek philosophy. Greek philosophy believed that if you have a long hair, blonde hair, if you have a long nose, if you have a thin mouth, if you have a white skin and blue eyes, automatically you're born to be a leader. If you have big lips like me, if you have a perfect, if you have a skin that has a lot of hairy skin like me, if you have big eyes, if you have a short hair, then you're not born to be a leader. You're born to be a slave. That's the Greek philosophy, and that's how colonialism came. For them, they literally believe in that philosophy that, oh, these guys are born to save us. We were born to be leaders. And that's the same indoctrination that they put through our tribes into us. Even those Europeans, they have tribes. But they call you tribes and they call themselves nations to differentiate themselves with you, because they knew they killed each other a lot in the World War I and II. So they wanted to avoid that at every cost, and they called each other nation. Even that's why the reason why they created a League of Nations, they created that in order to stop wars. And let me tell you this, guys, whenever you see war, you must know that there's something bigger is coming. League of Nations, it came after the World War I. So you have to look these things in a bigger picture, that the point, it was to implement the League of Nations. But how can we implement the League of Nations? We must bring the big crisis in the world, everybody to be trampled down, everybody to be broken, everybody to lose hope, and then we'll bring League of Nations. So that's what they did. But it did nothing. It did not bring peace, because that was not the agenda of League of Nations, to bring peace. We went to the World War II. And you know what came after League of Nations? United Union. United Union, guys. United Nation. United Nation. Again, the agenda, it is to bring this another organization called United Nations. But sad news is that since the creation of United Nations, the war that the world has been experiencing is more than ever before. And they created that to stop wars. But in fact, a lot of wars have been created. Why? Because that was not the purpose of this organization. Anytime you see something big, they're preparing for something else to come. Remember when pandemic came? Everybody is freaking out. Oh, pandemic. That's social distance. Oh, stay in your house. Oh, do this and that. And all this stuff. And a lot of noises everywhere. Then some Africans here. Some Africans, they were trapped with that. Some of them receive even V. Man, we just pray that God will really heal. We just pray. But what came after that? You know what came after that? Ukraine. The war of Ukraine is not against Russia and Ukraine. It's not. Ukraine is the collateral damage. I can't say these things in details, man, because I'm using these medias and, you know, they can just stop me anytime. So I gotta be careful how far I go. But everything that is happening into this world is not happened by coincidence. It's planned, and there's something big coming after that. We are seeing Africa right now, right? We have seen Niger, we're seeing Gabon, and this is not end. We're gonna see Cameroon, you're gonna see Senegal, you're gonna see everywhere. But there's something big is coming. And if we are not ready, spiritually and physically, we're not going to stand. So guys, let me tell you this. Not even here. Let me tell you this. Go and pray to your God. Every Friday, we have prayers here. Come and pray. It is very important because what is coming is not just going to require your energy or your thoughts. No, but it's going to require your prayer. Yeah. I'm going to pray. I'm praying. So I hope you do that too. Because every single thing that is, man, can you imagine how wickedness is this? World War I, millions of people were killed. World War II. But all of this, it was for an agenda. Like people are ready to kill as many people as they can in the world. They don't care. Just to bring their agenda. This is the world we're living in. This is the world we're living in. This world, man, you tell me this. How are you going to overcome that? How are you going to win over these people? All this agenda. How are you going to do that? Yes, we can be united. But man, are you going to do that without God? These guys have established themselves for over 100 years. They have established themselves for a long time. Even if they die, there's another person that they're already there. They're already there. They're already generation after generation. They are planned, their strategy and everything. Why do you think the whole system is running the world? Why do you think it's the same system running the world? Why do you think? At least you see Chinese, they have their own system in Russia, but that is another system as well. They have also their own system that they wanted to run the world. Guys, this power, this money, this agenda, they ain't just physically. These things start spiritually. That's why they're able to go as far as they want them to go. If we are not going to pray, World War III is already happening. It's already happening, guys. If it's happening in Russia, NATO is together with Ukraine. EU is with Ukraine. The entire world, except a lot of countries in Africa, they are with the Ukraine. The world is siding with this and is siding with Russia. Oh, in Africa, the world is siding with this, with ECOWAS, and the people are siding with Niger. Now I have in Gabon. You know where the world is going to side with. Guys, let me tell you this. Taking down the Bongo family in Gabon is the biggest thing the country is doing a favor for themselves. And these guys are not going to stay silent because that means it's the end of them taking advantage of Gabon. They're not going to take it easy because it's better for them to have that family so that they may continue to benefit from Gabon. Taking down that family is taking down their money, taking down their resources, taking down what they've been benefiting for over 60 years. This is not a joke. This is not just something to be excited. This is not just something to stay calm and to be like, you know what, prayer never works anyways. This is the time to pray before. I'll tell you the truth, guys. World War III, it's already happening. Turmoil everywhere. And this is how it begins. At the end of the day, you see the world is divided in a few different groups, and everyone is fighting with another person. If we don't wake up, if we do not pray, we'll be too late. I hope you listen to me. The Western media will never tell you that. Even our medias will not tell you that, because our medias, they're basically just imitating Western media. They'll never tell you that. Why? Because they're trying to keep God out of the picture, out of the state. Or keep religion out of the picture, but not God. Yeah. All right. See, His Excellence, he is not here. So, yeah. But anyways, guys, you have seen that. I'll finish up with the word of prayer. God, what we want as one people, Africans, is whatever evil plan that is against our continent will not succeed. Whatever evil plan that is there for our continent will not stand. Whatever evil plan that is planned for Niger, for Gabon, and sometimes they even want us to lose focus, to focus on something else and not what really matters. God, we pray that this continent will experience that peace, the peace that surpasses all understanding. Sometimes you don't even know what is coming next. But God, you see everything. You are everywhere. You know everything. Nothing is difficult to you and nothing is hidden to you. You know everything. So we pray, Lord, that may your hand, mighty hand, touch our countries again and our people. And as we navigate this liberation in Africa, God, don't leave us. Give us strength, wisdom, understanding, and intelligence to know how to handle these things. We need your guidance and we need your mighty hand to go with us. Because without you, cannot reach anywhere. Pray, asking you in your precious name. Amen. 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 Yeah, so I have His Excellence came here. He came here as I'm closing. But I'll be mchoyo wa fadhila if I don't leave my His Excellence here. His Excellence, welcome, man.
His Excellence.
Man. I had a long day, man. I had a long day, His Excellence. Like, for me, I'll just say, I will leave you here, man. If you have anything for you to just carry on and to end, whenever you anytime you want. But yeah, you saw what is happening, man.
His Excellency, what's happening? It's a long time coming. Not to wish any country to have. Currently, I mean, there's confusion. Any country that's going through that, it needs prayers. It needs unifiers. It needs visionaries. Because as much as we can say that there's a new regime or the military is taking over, we need people who are taking over with a vision.
Yeah.
Sorry. We need people that are taking over with a plan, who really know, who are really there to fulfill the people's needs, and make sure that the country is steered in the right direction. Because and I think our leaders are not learning in Africa that as much as the longer you stay, I think even a PLO mentioned something that when you dance too long, you end up ruining the dance. Leave while people are still clapping for you. And I think, one president that I always say, out of all the things that people can throw at the former president Nelson Mandela, is where he beats a lot of leaders, regardless of whatever flaws that he might have, is he understood when to leave power. He only stayed one term, and it felt like he was there for 20 years, 30 years and stuff. And he could have stayed like that, but he only took one term for 5 years and he was out. He left on a peak. And that should have been a big model for many leaders in Africa, to say, sometimes leave when people are still celebrating you. Like, even you look at even our former president, the Magufuli, as much as, yes, things were cut short, but he left on even if the Lord called him at the really, like, when on a peak, things where he departed from this world on a high, not when things were really going down. So leaders, for African leaders, and even us who are upcoming leaders, those are the things that we should really take notice of, that sometimes leave when people are still understand you. Do not leave when things are really messed up. Give yourself time. You can never achieve everything in society, but make your mark, plan, and make sure that you execute things that will leave a long-lasting legacy for the people. Do not leave when things are really when now there's an uprising, then you ask for help. Make sure that when you're given a term, if it's 5 years, 10 years, leave. Do not want to extend, manipulate the system to stay long, because there's going to come a point when sometimes you ruin things. Like, that's why as I'm saying that it's been a long time coming. I'm looking at previous leaders, other leaders who were also celebrated how they lost power. I mean, you can look at even the Gaddafi, for example. As much as we can say France did this, America did this and stuff, but there was supposed to be a time to say, I need to leave power, I need to leave and not stay long. I mean, you cannot stay 40 years. As much as you build your country is well and good. I'm telling you, even Gaddafi, the way he had built Libya, if he had left Libya on that same good infrastructure, good quality education, good social programs, it could have been celebrated, and some of the things will have not happened, where other people will even plot to take them out. So people sometimes they stay long, and we are seeing this across Africa. I mean, we saw that in Burkina Faso. The president was staying long. At the end of the day, there will be an uprising at the end of the day. Look at even in Zimbabwe, President Robert Mugabe stayed too long, celebrated, but he could have left office while people still loved him, while he had achieved certain things. He cannot achieve everything. You cannot stay there until you are 90, whatever, until you die. This is a trend that African leaders should really take note of. If you're still in power and you've been there for far too long, maybe it's time to also reconsider that. Maybe it's time that I hand over and mentor other people, because a country cannot live in a vacuum where leadership is not produced and new leaders are coming into the front and really leading the country. We do need a mixture of leaders, young and old, to work together. And we do need a leadership that is really for the people, and know that my term is enough. 5 years, 10 years, whatever years that your country has, stop manipulating systems. Stop saying, no, my people still want me. At times, you need to say thank you, but there's other people. You need to give to others. As much as we love you as a leader, you might have built a nation very well or stabilized things, but you need to know that, hey, I've done this, I think is enough to hand over to others to take this country to another level as well. And you'll be celebrated. It won't be an embarrassment now when a leader has to cry to the wall and say, come and help me. I'm in house arrest or something like that, you know. So I think if we can really get to a place where as leaders, we can say we need to stay the allocated time. Let us not stay forever. As much as people can vote you how many times, but at times you need to really leave the dance floor for others to continue. You know, I sometimes when I look at leaders that ousted, and it's quite unfortunate, it's not something that we should really be celebrating per se, because currently this can make a country like Gabon really go crazy, and we can lose a good country from developing, because it's a good country with so much potential. And we might think, no, the president is out, somebody's coming in, he'll make changes. Maybe bad leadership even worse than what they have at the moment. So we need to make sure that leadership really accounts. At the same time, leadership does not stay far too long where now they just ruin things. So leave the dance floor on a high. If people are still clapping for you, still liking you, sometimes you need to say, hey, I need to go sit down. I think I've danced enough. Even though they say, come, we want you. Say, I've danced enough. Let others dance. It's tired, you know, or else you end up doing funny things and the dance will really not look good. And leaders need to realize that they should see their peers. There's a lot of examples in Africa of leaders that stayed far too long and the ending was never good. Ending is never good. The ending is never good. That's why leaders really need to be aware. And all the leaders in Africa, if you look at the leadership, those who are staying long in power, they should really consider seeing where this thing is leading to. And even leaders that came before them, how were they removed out of power? They should be looking at all the examples and just tell yourself, if I didn't really achieve so much, I've done ABC. There's things that you'll always show in leadership. Others might not be known by the people, but you need to hand over. There should be a cycle of leadership so that the country can really be stable. Instead of one leadership, people get tired and you start making errors. And then when you start making errors, your ratings go down, people start rebelling against you, we start seeing coups, and sometimes we start seeing wars in our countries. And this thing it's like a ripple, it's like a chain right now in Africa. Because I think sometimes we should really look at it, we should really like observe so much. What's happening in West Africa is happening now. Look, it's now in Central, Southern Africa. It could go any other region in Africa as we speak. If we do not really see this, that leaders, be aware, leaders, you need to wake up and really try to help your people and really develop your nations and really put your interests of the people first, and also know when to leave power. Learn, because this is, if we're seeing this in Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, now Gabon, what's next? And we've seen this in Zimbabwe, we've seen this in Zambia, we've seen these things even pass in other countries before. You've seen this in Algeria, we've seen this in Tunisia. So this thing it's something that's happening, and leaders need to wake up and realize that this could happen. I see someone says Cameroon could be next. Exactly. I mean, we're now talking about Central Africa. Cameroon falls under Central Africa as well. This could also go into that, you know. It's so such things we need to really observe them and not take them for granted when they are happening. So leaders in Africa, be aware that even future leaders, we need to be aware that leadership, there's a place and time and the time frame that you are given to be in power. Do not abuse your power. Do not really be greedy in such a way that people can see now this is a family business. This is a family leadership. It's no longer, it's like a kingdom. It's no longer like a country that's run by the people for the people. It's now a family business where family members are ministers, family members are business. They're the richest in the country. You know, things like that. I mean, we need to look into this. And as I'm saying this, it's becoming more and more. I mean, I can mention so many countries where there's been a leadership that's been in power for far too long. It never ends well. It never ends well. I mean, Angola is another example now. Not now, but what's happening in Angola, partly with the leadership change and all that stuff. You've heard that. Now the family is suffering consequences of the leaders. Now imagine even in Gabon, the Ali Bongo's father was also in leadership for far too long, and even though he was just there for 14 years, we can say 14 years is not a lot, but it is a lot. If people can now say, no, we're tired of this, and if his families were benefit, and the impression that your family is benefiting from the resources of a country can really destroy you as a leader. So we need to be aware who comes in, even with our family members that we appoint as ministers. You're a president now, you appoint your uncle to be a minister of minerals, things like that. I mean, it raises questions. There's much that we can also learn from such countries where there's been long leadership. But let's see how far it can go. It can go. But we need to still pray for Gabon, that whoever's taking power right now, they are for the people, and it's not about greed. Because sometimes we might think it's for the people, but it's just greedy people fighting and ousting each other. So it's for me, when I see such things, it's not time to be celebrating and saying, well done, Gabon, or anything like that. It should be a time now we need to be watching and praying, or watching and really observing what's happening, what's going to happen, what's the next move. Because this can go way, way worse than what the situation is at the moment. So it's not time to be celebrating that, oh, so-and-so is out. Let's see who comes in and all that. Yes, we need to observe and check the new leadership that's coming in, if they have good intentions for the nation or not. Because they could be even worse. They could be very greedy. Maybe some of them, maybe they even own business. They are very rich, but they're coming into power and coming into power on a greedy foundation that they also want to now accumulate more of the resources of the country. So let's not celebrate such things. Because it leaves so much. I mean, you can imagine the chaos in terms of the country now, how it's being run. So much uncertainty in terms of the government's structures, schools. So many things are not in order as we speak. It might, because we are outside, we don't see the internal part. We don't experience the hardship that people might be going through. Other people, they sell stuff on the street. Imagine if there's an uprising, there's riots. Some people cannot do their business because of riots. So let's see where it goes, because I see somebody says what? Congrats to Gabon. Let's see. Let's wait and see where the direction goes from here. For me, that's my observation. I'm not here to celebrate whether good intention or not. Let's see if the intentions are clear and they will do what is right for the people. That's where the real results come in. You know, you can take, it's like you snatching power from somebody else and just saying, let me take this vehicle. You can't drive. Let me drive. Can you drive it better? Will you drive it better? Will you take care of that car that you think somebody's not doing well? That's another question. Any leadership that comes to power, like in a way like this, we still need to, they are not savers for me until they start showing that they can lead and they can really help the people to improve the people's lives. That's when now we can say, wow, this is a great leadership. But for now, for me, I'll remain neutral. I'll never say this is good for them, because what if now they become brutal? They start killing people, especially knowing that most of them come from a military background and stuff. So, but that's just my view. That's just my view. For me, currently, I'm just observing and we'll be praying more for the country of Gabon to go into the right direction, and for the leadership to really put the people first and build a good foundation and a good infrastructure and good life for the people of Gabon. That's what we need. That's what we need. We cannot celebrate while the real work starts. You know, if like even Niger, it's not time to be celebrating to say, wow, Niger will give support where it's due, but at the same time, can you lead? Are you there for the people, or is just a front now because you wanna you just remove somebody out of power? And we don't discredit someone just to be in power. That's greed. Rather, let's look at what they've done. If they failed the people and they've been corrupt, they've done evil, whatever, then okay, it's fine. What are you bringing to the table? As I always say that as a people, sometimes we can criticize, but what are the solutions that we put in front? So in all these countries where we're seeing turmoil, there's a lot that's happening that as outsiders, we can be on our keyboards, we can be here and talk, but guys, we need to realize that this is people's lives. This is millions of people's lives that are like, they don't know the direction of the country. Because you just took power. Yes, we understand that these are the issues that have been raised in the country, but do we really know what's next? The true test of the new leadership, whoever takes power, starts now. They need to show leadership. Now they need to fill the shoes. They need to wear the shoes. They said they can wear the shoe and they can walk on the shoe. Let them wear it and let's see. So such things, let's remain neutral in most instances and let's look, because it'll be very painful in a month or two. We hear that the same government that took over, that we were clapping hands for, is now killing its own people. Then what are we saying? Hence, in such cases, let's all observe and really see what's happening. What is the way forward? What are these people coming to do? Are they here for? Are they also greedy? It's just, let's see. For me, that's what this is where I'm observing all these new leaders that are coming, but also all leadership. Be aware that it never ends well. The longer you dance, you remain on the dance floor, it will be bad for you. So they need to. And this thing, some things I think some people do not learn from other people's mistakes. You know, sometimes there's a proverb, an African proverb that says, sometimes those who are coming, they ask those who are ahead of them, how's the road up there? You know, those who've walked the road. I don't know how to say it in English. I'll just paraphrase, but it's like those who've walked the road before, the ones that are still coming need to ask them, how's been the road? As much as, yes, you still want to experience it yourself and know. So we need to see whether they can do it better, and they need to do better. Because when you take power like this, you need to do better. If you're not going to do better, then you know what's going to happen. Because sometimes we look at such things. It's easy when we look at it from outside at times, but it's not something that we should be taking for granted. You know, let's not take this issue for granted. Let's not really take it for granted. It's like war. And war, sometimes people tend to think it's guns and words and all that stuff. But even the policies, things like that, to implement things is war. Whether a country needs the direction, a plan of a country, it's war, because you'll have opposing views. You'll have people that do not agree with you. You need to convince them, or you need to overtake them somehow. You need to make sure that that idea people can buy into. So this is something that we need to really watch out very carefully, instead of just maybe taking lightly and thinking, what's this? Things will just start being normal. Things are not normal in Gabon, because we can see there could even be a breakaway. There could be like 2 camps of soldiers, or even a rebel group starting a war against the military that took over power. That couldn't happen anywhere else. And if we see, looking at West Africa, the ECOWAS versus Niger versus these other countries, Burkina Faso, Mali, ECOWAS trying to like there's been words, we don't know how true it is at times, where the ECOWAS wants to send soldiers and all those things. We don't need that. We don't need anyone. I mean, and again, when it comes to wars, we must remember that the people that are sometimes having different of opinion or how to lead the country, most of them will be in the comfort of their own homes. It'll be other people's children who have to go and kill each other, who have to go and fight. So those are the things that we need to also be aware of when we're dealing with this, with such a situation. Because if a war breaks out, maybe let's say the country, group of countries in ECOWAS say they're going to attack Niger. I mean, there'll be bloodshed. Those are things that we need to avoid at all costs. We need dialogue. We need to sit down and learn to talk to one another and tackle our problem and not the man. Because I think sometimes in Africa, we tend to tackle the man instead of the problem at hand. Because even now, let's say Ali Bongo is out, but does it change immediately the lives of the people in Gabon? No. What is the policy for the new government, for the new leadership that's coming over? What are they bringing to the table? Sometimes we celebrate, but we don't know what's the direction. What if they say, such a tribe that comes from Alibonga, they must all be killed. But anyway, it's just something extreme, obviously. But I'm just saying, let us be careful when we're dealing with such things. We do need to sit down and we need to really patch a way forward. And as I mean, as much as we need a united Africa, this is where the united Africa needs to stand, and we need to talk as a family to say, my brother, your home is not doing well. What's happening? How can I be of help to you? And what is your differences in your own home? Because a country is like a home. It's a home. It's like how you deal with your family. Your family is different from the next family. And how you resolve your issue in your home, it won't be the same as another home. But then as well, if we're a bigger family, we need to say, family X, things are not going well. How do we help family X as brothers, as siblings? How do we help our brother or our sister to navigate through these challenges? We do not side. We should not rush to side with one member. As much as he might look good, let's bring both parties and say, a brother and a sister, they are fighting in this home. What is the issue? How do we make sure that, regardless of whoever takes power, but are they going to leave this home? Will they build this home, or will they destroy this home fighting one another? So those are the things that we need to really look forward to in terms of the way forward. Because the months that are coming, that's where now we'll see the true reflection of who's in power. What are they there for? Are they there for their own pockets, to take money out of the country and put them in shell companies and all that? Or are they going to build a country? Are they going to be focused? Are they going to do it better? Because now we expect better from those who are now in leadership. If they think the old leadership was there, but they did not deliver, they deserve better. They need to do better than the previous regime. Now the pressure is on them. They need to wear the shoes and they need to work. It won't be now guns and you know, it won't be like now the real things, the development of the countries. You won't be carrying an AK-47 on the street. You need to sweat. You need to use your mind. You need to put policies. People need to be working. You need a productive society. You need so many things. So such things, we as a family, we need to get to a point where we can come up with solutions, long-term solutions for Africa. Conflict resolution is one thing that's also lacking in our continent, that we need to sit down and say, how do we resolve issues? How do we make sure that we're not going to wars, useless wars that are going to cost a country and take a country backwards? The only thing that really we need to be worrying about is ideas, like, okay, let's build this way. Oh, I'm thinking I need 70 stories. You need to say, no, I need 5 here. We need to be bringing things that will develop. That's where we need to be saying, man, but you can build it this way. You can make it better this way, not in a destructive manner. We need to build one another like that, you know, as much. And I said last time that it's boring to think alike all the time. Sometimes we need to think differently. You need to hear your brother say something that you like, as much as I might not agree with him, but he has a point in something right there. You know, listening more than just saying, nah, I disagree. It can't be. That's, you know, no. Sometimes listen just and analyze. You might analyze and still not find value in it, but don't dismiss the idea, because you might find that idea, you might need it somewhere. You'll be like, oh, I didn't like the idea, but I think it fits here now. Some ideas might not fit at a point, but they may fit somewhere else. So yeah, those are the things that I believe that we should really be looking into. And what next? What if it's another country? What if tomorrow it's Eritrea or it's another country? Those are things that we should really open our eyes when we start seeing this thing. It's like fires in Africa at the moment. It started in the west, is now in central. Where is it next? Is it going down south, or is it going east? Is it going north? I see, what's this? Let's see. I see some people have been commenting. I see people saying they need jobs. As Africans, we need jobs. Exactly. We do need jobs. Abeni, oh yeah, Siseka Robert says such things have happened, but nothing much has changed. You know, yeah. Let me not add anything to that. I see another one by Abeni Mama Free Maroon. They will do better. Let's speak it into existence. Let's pray that they do better. Exactly. We do need to be positive in making sure that the country goes forward and goes in the right direction. Let's pray for right direction. As you say, we must speak it into existence. Let's speak life into our Gabon, peace in Gabon, and brothers and sisters will find each other to build the country forward in the right direction. That's a declaration for Gabon. That's a declaration for Niger. That's a declaration for Burkina Faso, Mali, Ghana, Nigeria, Egypt, Kenya, Tanzania, DRC, Congo, Brazzaville, Namibia, Botswana, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, South Africa, Lesotho, Eswatini, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Central African Republic. We need to see a Central African Republic as well in unity and come to a place where there's stability in that country as well. Chad, we need stability in Chad. Algeria, Egypt, Tunisia, Morocco, Senegal, Guinea. Hey, man. Sierra Leone, Equatorial Guinea. Equatorial Guinea is another nation that's very close to Gabon, people. And we need to be thinking that, hey, what if the fire goes into even Equatorial Guinea, because they've also had a leadership that's been there for so long. Those are the things that we need to be thinking, that this fire could just go next door because it's happening in Gabon. Gabon is so close to Equatorial Guinea. That's another thing that we need to realize, that this could go next door. You know? So there's a lot going on right there. There's a lot going on, and we shouldn't be playing. We shouldn't be taking things for granted. And how do we stabilize things? And I like how Mendatezi, my brother, my co-host, Mendatezi says, one issue is that Africa is not united on good governance. Very true. Very true. I see Russell Sharp says, oh, Ian Baraka says, we want United States of Africa. Definitely. In such cases, that's where now unity is needed, because we can say, family, there's a problem in the house. Let's resolve it. What's Russell Sharp? France need to pay reparations for 100 years. They need change. They need change their money and print their own francs. So franc, I don't know. France think they own 17 countries, talking about financial. I'm not sure whether it's interference or what. Of course, we do need those countries to be financially independent from France financial systems. YouTube dude, Africa Unite. Another one from YouTube dude. No more selling resources. Make them build facilities, process them there in the continent. That's a good idea, but I think we're still outsourcing our problems. In that statement, it's a good idea, but I feel that if we say make them build facilities, we are still crying to them, we're still begging them to do those things. We need to go get the technology and do it ourselves, because every country will look after its interest. Do you think the French or any other country that's developed, that's getting a lot of buying resources from us or getting resources from us and manufacturing them in their countries, will they just say, okay, fine, let's just go and give them those Africans there, let's go and build power stations, let us go and just build No, they'll try to keep the business in their countries because it also employs their own people. So this thing of saying, let them do this for us. I think that time for me, I feel it's over. We know the technologies that are out there. We need to see how we can bring them ourselves and we can do it. And we cannot do them all alone, obviously, because certain people still own some of the technologies. We'll have to go and borrow or steal or do whatever if it means we have to do it. The Chinese have done it. So they took advantage of them use as a manufacturing hub, that they started acquiring knowledge and using that knowledge to empower themselves. So, but no one is going to come and save us. If we're still waiting for France to bring factories, America to bring factories in Africa, we are fooling ourselves. At some point, we're going to just need to do it. Or else, we can put some more taxes on them so that they bring some of the stuff here, but no one is going to do it for us. We need to do it ourselves. Because they'll still take us as beggars when we say they need to come and build a mall for us. They need to come and build this for us. It's like us begging them. We know what is needed. We need to just do it the way we can, even if it's small, but let's start from there and build our capacity up. Emily Faber says, I want my African with the tribal issue, think one Africa. I don't understand the statement there, Amelie Faber. And then Abeni Mama Afri Maroon says, absolutely speak peace and progress on all African people, stability and upliftment. Power to that as well. Progress on all African people, stability and upliftment is what we need. Another one by Anna Swatko, Africa Justem Zimwam. Sorry, some of the messages, I don't know if it's other languages. Correct me where I'm not pronouncing or not saying maybe the statement correctly there. Russell Sharp says, France stealing their resources. So where's the freedom to starve to death? I'm also not getting that statement properly. I'm not sure. Abeni Mafa again says the People's Republic of Africa. That's a good one as well. People's Republic of Africa. If not the United States of Africa, it's the People's Republic of Africa. Wow. People have, you see, these are the great ideas. People who are posting and saying, maybe this is how we should be calling our continent. But that will leave to the family to decide. And another one says, hence to ground ourselves. Yes, like Sankara, yeah. Burkina Faso. And we're seeing now with the new leadership, the young leadership, just like the young Sankara, we're seeing young leadership in Burkina Faso again. Black Eyes Shelly says, France needs to go. Leave Mother Africa alone. Hey, Mother Africa has been feeding. They've been eating. You think they're going to leave lunch? Man, no one's going to leave lunch easy. Patricia Mitchell says, all the countries on the continent should change the colonial faces on their currencies. Decolonize our mindset. Wow. Russell Sharp, you got Zimbabwe Falls and Congo Rivers. Definitely. I mean, Congo, especially DRC, can, in terms of the hydro potential, it has the best hydro potential in the whole of Africa. No African country has the like, in terms of water-wise, it's a tropical, the water is in abundance in DRC Congo. So if they had to utilize the Congo rivers, man, with the studies that have been made regarding the Congo rivers, the potential it holds for especially hydroelectricity. They can power a lot of countries. Even Congo in itself, Congo can be self-reliant on terms of electricity, in terms of everything it needs, food, water. It's That's one country that has all the potential of everything, from minerals, the soil, to for food. Congo can feed Africa. Congo can power Africa. Congo can feed the world and even feed itself. The potential, such a massive country, good rainfalls, anything almost grows everywhere. I mean, they've got, oh, man. So you can imagine like when we are not managing such resources, such potential, where we have so much that we're not managing right. But still, going back to Gabon, that's something else. Something else. Let's pray for Gabon, and let's monitor what's happening in Gabon. Let's see in the coming days and weeks how things settles down, if there'll be, so we do need that, because Zimbabwe falls in Congo River. Okay, I read that. Black Ice Shelly says, don't take away the raw material. Exactly. Anna Swatko, free Gabon, Africa. Chinese did it by working together. Exactly. I mean, in terms of their population, it's our population as a continent. It's 1. What? We are 1.2 billion. We're still living less than the Chinese as a whole continent, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, census may change, but let's see. Bless up for the Caribbean islands, Jamaica. Oh, there's a lot there. I think it was just short. Of course. Let's see. YouTube. Maybe I should have said leverage the resources and build manufacturing. Yes. And sometimes we need to talk about it. How can we build Africa? I think sometimes we don't talk so much. We talk about, we are reacting to issues only. Sometimes we need to sit down and really say, how do we strengthen our leadership? When there's peace in our countries, we need to sit down when there's peace in our countries, when there's peace, as much as things may not be going well in a country, but when there's that peace and that moment where we can talk without turmoil or arguments, because we need to sit as countries, as Africa, to say, how do we strengthen our systems, our good governance? How do we get rid of corruption? How do we do this? How can we come up with solutions and policies and ways to implement them? Come up with pilot projects that we can deploy and test and see if it's working here, will it work in this country? Because we know that sometimes societies are not the same. Certain things you can deploy it in other countries and they'll work well. Other countries, they might not work well. So we need to get to a point where we can say, okay, we are this diverse. Let's do pilot projects that are going to help each and every one of us, instead of just saying, oh, Rwanda did it, we're just going to do it the Rwanda way. Because you might find your country is very complex. There's a lot of things that will resist such maybe a change in a country. You see, so such things we need to really look at that when things are going well. We need to sit down and say, how do we strengthen this one? Is working well? I know some people will say, if it works, leave it. But sometimes everything needs to be reviewed. It's like you driving a car and not servicing it, saying, it's going. This car is moving from point A to B. There's time when you need to say, stop the car, check the oils, change the plugs. Do some service on it. Even something that's working needs service. Even if a policy and a government or a country seems to be working well, there's things that we need to be reviewing now and then, so that we strengthen that and make sure nothing gets left behind, or things start falling off because we've just thought it's working. Let's not touch it. Man, what I'm going to say right now, please, it's like, leaders that have been in power for long, as much as you are voted, the country loves you. Sometimes I just pray that sometimes sit down, whether you sit down and ask the Lord, do I still need to be in power? Good leaders, building a good country, stable, whatever. When things are good, sometimes sit down and just ask God and say, am I still needed in this country? Do I still need to be in power? Or should I go and sit down and let new leadership come? There was just self-introspection is really needed. And there's a lot of countries where some leaders are voted. We know you're a leader, you are voted, majority, all good. But sit down and also look at your peers, look at your neighboring countries. Look at your neighboring countries. And us asking such questions, we're not saying we are against people who stay long. I'm not saying I'm against any leaders who are doing well, who are staying long, but consider as well to know that there has to be a time to leave as well. As much as you're winning the election, the country loves you, they are voting for you because you're standing for presidency. Does not mean you have to be a president, or doesn't mean you have to be. It's like people can love you, but sometimes you might say, no, I'm declining my nomination. I don't want to be a leader. I don't want to lead the people. I'm fine where I am at the moment. This leadership role that I'm doing is enough for now. Because it's sad when we see people who have done well at times, or they started well, but they never finish well. So we need to get to that place as a continent and as a people where we need to ask ourselves that. We need to ask ourselves, family, we need to ask ourselves whether we are needed in power. And if we're doing a good job, how long can I do this job? Maybe I'm allowed to do only 5 years of a good job and I need to take a step back. So to our leaders, presidents who are in power in Africa, we love you. We don't hate you. But do the right things for our people. And we know some of you are trying. We're not saying you're not doing anything. Get it right. We're not fighting you. We're not. We support you and we want to support you on the right things. So we need to account for all of us, and we need to sometimes not agree, but see where we can help one another to get better as a country, as a collective. And to the leaders in our continent, we love you. I want to emphasize that we love you. And not everyone will support you, but we love you. We may not support you, but we love you as a person. We love you. And you might not support our view or our opinions, but we love you as a person. And certain things, let's disagree, but let's try to find one another on things that can elevate all of us. And there's no leadership without criticism. Sometimes it depends on what kind of criticism is. I understand that, but we need to get to that place where we can disagree, but still say, I love you. I don't agree with you on this, but... And also, how long is enough in leadership? I remember we once saw a clip from the former president, the late president, Robert Mugabe, saying 1 year, 5 years, it was not enough. 5 years I was doing this. I'll look for the video. Maybe I'll play it as well. So let's get to that place where we can really say we love Africa and we want what's best for all of us. If you're a president, you have kids, you have family members, you have uncles, you have aunties, you have nephews and nieces in your country. So if we destroy that very country because we don't see eye to eye in terms of the direction of a country, we're all going to suffer it. It's not a thing of, as long as my family is okay, screw everyone. The selfish mentality comes back and bites you. So let us make things that are going to build a continent. That's going to build our countries and our continent. So for me, it's just something that I'm just putting it out there for our leaders. I know some of our leaders watch this, their advisors watch this, people who are close to them watch this. Sometimes they must go sit down and just reflect. Yes, my country loves me. Maybe it's time to give others a chance. Yes, there's so many things you can still do. You still have the strength. You're still young. You're still a young leader. You feel you're still 60. You're still young. Or you're 70. You still feel young that you can run the country. You're still 80. You feel you can still run the country. We understand that. But evaluate whether it's worth sometimes still being in power. There's maybe a time to say the young generation or middle-aged people, I don't know what to call them, but others may let them take over the country to another level. I think I've been here for 40 years or I've been here for 20 years. Maybe it's time that I give others a chance. And sometimes you can redeem yourself by doing that. You find that once you give others a chance, those who said they'll do better, they do worse. No, it's just something, it's just a thought. I know but what I'm saying is our beautiful leaders, our leaders who fought for these countries, who've worked hard, sleepless nights. We know some of you sleep in the AMs, you sleep late. Some presidents are really working hard. Yes, things may not show so much, but they are working, they're trying. And we love you. Don't think when we criticize you or when we're saying we raise issues, and we don't just criticize you for no reason. We are raising issues to say, Mr. President, Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. Minister, this is the issue. Why this is not being done? It's not that we are disrespecting you as young people. We know that this thing is going to affect us. You might live another 10 years and you're gone, but what about those who are still going to live 50, another 50, 60 years, and they need to live under a mistake that was done by the current leadership? So as I always mention some of the things that happened as well is debts. I mean, some of the debts that the leaders take, I mean, the young generation will have to pay. They'll have to pay for it. They need to pay for it, and it's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy to pay off those debts for things that they never benefited from. Now they have to pay with the tax money, their business money, all those things they need to. A country will have to. Or some leaders come into power, but the country is so much heavily indebted. Most of the things they cannot, the policies that they had promised the people, they can't implement them because the country is in so much debt. The creditors want their money. The World Bank needs their money. IMF needs their money. The Chinese need their money. Neighboring countries need their money or something. Banks need their money. So hence we need accountability. We really need accountability, and we need to find out where is the money going to. Is the money enough? Is the money doing what it's supposed to be, or is the money leaving our country? So for all the leaders, just something that I'm just raising out there. We know you're watching. Some of you, your advisors watch us. Some of your spokesperson watch the show and watch other platforms that talk about such issues. We are not against any leaders. We just want what's best for all of us. And we're going to question when we see something that we're not sure of. It's not that we're trying to oust you when we ask you questions. Just be calm and answer to your best of your ability and say, this is what we are doing, this is what we're not. And we're going to ask. We're going to ask you questions. That's one thing for sure. And when we ask you, I mean, why are you still in power? What more do you want to do? You know? And sometimes some people will need to just ask them, hey, Mr. President, you are there for 20 years. What if something that is happening in Gabon, if it had to happen to your country or happen to you as a president? What will the president answer? Because sometimes some people, yes, you live in your comfort, whatever, and you think you're doing right, but sometimes you also need to be given a wake-up call to say, things are not the way you may think. Maybe your advisors are not even telling the whole truth. They just want you to be happy. Or they know, and people that are afraid to tell their leaders or people they report to the truth, to say, nah, this one is not working. This policy is failing. We are failing dismally. Honestly, and just to the point, instead of Mr. President, You are a great president, Mr. President. The people love you, Mr. President, Mr. Minister. You are doing this right. But on the ground, it's not the case. Sometimes we need people that can correct us, or not even correct us, but show us the other part that's not maybe out there. And we understand it's life. You will not satisfy everyone, but at least do the right things. At least we can account for where you've done what you've done. Or if you're given finances, be accountable to the finances of your ministry or your country to say, this is where the money went. We can show proof of those things. But when we hear there's a budget, but then the budget is not doing anything for the people, then we've got to question you as a leader. So we don't want, as much as you may be our friend, let's say maybe you have a friend who's a president. Please, I mean, sometimes we need to be honest with some of our friends. We need to tell them, my friend, nah. And as friends, sometimes we need to really learn to hear the other side that we don't like. as sour as it may be, coming from another friend that you thought they'll always stroke your ego. It's not always about stroking ego, but sometimes telling our friends the truth. To say, my friend, this one won't work. I just think it won't work. And sometimes you can tell a friend and the friend may do something and you find that, no, as a friend, I thought it will not work and it worked. So sometimes maybe I tell you something and say, my friend, this won't work. And you go work at it. You say, like, I'll prove to him that it will work. That's the motive that you need to have. Let's say, you know what? My friend said it won't work. I'm going to push. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to invest in this to make sure that it works. That's the motive. That's when sometimes you have friends that can push you. Because maybe if I come and say, my friend, the people love you. Oh, a good president, my friend, when we are together. But I not sometimes tell you some things that you don't like, to push you to do the right thing, or to even work hard to say, you know what, my friend says, my policy as a president, I'm doing bad. I'm going to do better when I'm in presidency. I need to go back to my office. I need to tell my team, we need to work hard. We need to do this. Those are the kind of things sometimes when we need to get, when we amongst our friends who are not seeking approval or seeking money, to say, hey, it's my friend. I don't want to say something negative. Now he won't give me a bread. He won't be nice to me. He won't invite me to his party. Nah, rather not invite me to your party, but you're doing something right. And it motivates you to do better. But sometimes let us not think with our stomachs to our friends. We need to tell them the truth and say, this one won't fly, friend. This one, maybe if you do it this way. And sometimes it's not about taking any advice all the time or suggestion, because some people, when you say advice, it's something else. But suggestions, sometimes look at it, analyze, weigh your options, and say, no, I hear what you're saying, but our plan is like this and this. And people want to understand those things, because sometimes they don't understand their plans of their governments. Where are we going as a country? It's like we just wake up, sleep, we see small progress. Sometimes we don't see anything, and we just. So at times we need people that can really just tell us something that we opposite of what we thought we'll hear. Sometimes we are so used to. Oh, I was just sharing with a friend. Sorry, I'm now drifting. I was talking to another friend of mine, maybe about 2 weeks ago, and I was just telling him that at my age, I've reached a point where sometimes I find that no, let's say maybe somebody asks you, can you go with me to Morocco this weekend? Can we fly to Morocco? And I say no, I can't make it to Morocco. I've got A, B, C, D. Or my friend, I cannot help you with this. Or a friend comes and say, my friend, can you borrow me 1 billion US dollars or 1 billion shillings? Let me just take it home. 1 billion shillings. And then I say, I have the money, but that money is for another project. My friend, I wish I could help you, but currently I cannot. Already I'm stretched for whatever fines and everything. And that friend, because I said no to him, he gets offended that this man, I know he's rich, but he doesn't want to borrow me money. Just 1 billion shilling is nothing for him. No, but to you it looks like it's nothing, but maybe the money that's there at the moment, it's for other things already. That money is committed to other things. Or sometimes it's just a no to say, my friend, you've got a great idea, but I don't believe in it. I can't sponsor your idea. I have the money, but I can't sponsor you with that money. No, I can't loan you that money. If a friend just says no and gives you the reason, whether it's not enough to you, sometimes a no is also a good answer. Do not get offended and go and like, I'm blocking this friend. He's a greedy friend. He's a not good friend. And because people do something, I think people, they're so, sometimes the yes has made them believe that everything has to be yes, 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 yes. And no is also still an answer. And some people, they want answers, but it has to be yes, yes, yes answers. No, man. And no is also a good answer. Sometimes you find that no, you saying no, your friend had to now go and say, you know what? I've knocked at this friend. He said no. Goes to another friend. The other friend says yes. They sponsor that project. That project goes what? Makes money. And he's happy. But now to hold the grudge that one didn't borrow me money. He thought I won't make it without him. I find that as something that we need to mature from. That's when you're still thinking too much on the emotional aspect. But if one friend said no, another said yes, take the one that says yes, take the offer. If it fits you, move forward. Don't be angry at that one who says no. But it also gave you the endurance to say, I need to work hard. You work more harder. When you got the no, you looked for more, you work. Somebody said yes. It's like in business. Sometimes you can be selling a product. There'll be people who say, nah, I don't like your product. Others will be rude. No, nah. Some family members will say, I know you have a beautiful product, but I can't buy it. Now you can't be angry that even my own sister is not buying from me. This sister, people get offended in this. No, sometimes just say, my sister doesn't like this product, but I'm sure there's somebody else who can buy this product. You move ahead. Don't be no, take it. Oh, no, fine. Let's move to the next one. Oh, yes, let's work. Somebody says, yes, let's do the work. Let's do the business. Let's do this. And it's so much better. Okay, for me right now, I don't know. It's just how now I've grown. I've built some of the endurances, with some of the work that I do, and some of the businesses that I'm after, that I'm doing. It's like that. You need to know that, and no is also still a good answer. And sometimes it takes you back to say, okay, why did they say no? Maybe my approach is not the way I should be marketing this product or this business, or I should be doing this way. It also teaches you certain tricks, and you start building ideas around your product, around whatever you have that you bring to the table. So do not put stress and headache, because that will discourage you when you're always seeking yes men around you. Even people that you love, sometimes they will say, no, my brother, you're selling nice phones. You've got a phone that's better than iPhone and Samsung, but no, I'm still okay with my BlackBerry or something. Just say, just an example. That should really motivate you. Say, okay, why did I say no? Okay, maybe you start to learn other things, other ways to learn from the no's. It's also a no is also a good answer. Go and learn and say, okay, they said no. Maybe next time I need to sell this way. Maybe there's a way I'm advertising my products, or my business is not connecting with the people. Let me see. And sometimes also moving your markets. Maybe you're in an area where the product is not conducive. It's not something deployable. It's not something that you can run in that area. Maybe you need to go to another city. In another city, you find that, man, within a month, you've made all your sales that you've made sales, record sales than ever in your life. In 1 month in another city, you make so much money. And they were like, where you were, there was a lot of no's. We got hundreds of no's. When you get to another city, 70% of the people say yes. The no is just 3 people. 30% of out of the 100. So let us have that teachable spirit, that spirit to say, you know what? Okay, why are they saying no? Sometimes also evaluate, maybe it's my approach, this. You look at all those things. do not, do not be too, don't let pride sometimes, as much as you believe in your products. Yes, you need to believe in your product, but then at the same time, it might not connect with people at that moment. Others, it will take time for them to realize how good your product is. When they start hearing that, wow, we missed out on this one, we need to, then they'll join forces. And you must understand, I'm just making examples of business and selling stuff at times, that some people, it'll take them, a testimony from somebody can change other people's perception about what you're selling or what you're about. Right now, we could be talking about Gabon and whatnot, and some people might not agree with us, and it's fine. You all cannot just agree on anything, but come up with things that we build one another on. But somewhere down the line, you find that we started on a opposite page, like we're all pulling in different direction, and then somewhere in the future, we all combine and our ideas match up and our energies match up. So sometimes do not easily dismiss and get angry, be offended. Oh, these people don't like me. Oh, these people are doing this. I'm leaving them. There's just times when you need to give yourself time. Give yourself time. Some things, they take time for to sit well with people. It might be at first not comfortable, but with time you'll be shocked how people start responding to that thing. They're like, wow, when that is selling phones, I didn't like his phone, but hey, I saw my child playing with that phone. I think I need to buy that product or that phone. So even us as a people, we need to get to that point where even a no is still a good answer. Do not always cry when you're not getting the desired results, or you feel like your idea has been crushed. No one is listening to the idea. No. Take that idea. If you believe in it, work at it, sharpen it, clean it, work on it better. Try, knock at other doors at times. Do not just look at one door. I need this one. This one must open for me. If this one doesn't open, I'm not taking this. No, at times just leave that and just try somewhere else, and you find that it works. Perfectly meets the standard. Somewhere it just sells. That thing is just, And those who said no, later on, they're like, hey, my brother, how are you? They call you. But 2 years down the line, 2 years back, they were the ones who were saying this garbage, wrong products. You are rude. Your product will never sell. 2 years down the line, they need your product. They call you. You are sitting maybe like this in Swahili Nation, watching Swahili Nation. A call comes in. And you answer. Like, who's this calling me at midnight? You answer your phone. Answer your phone is the very same people who rejected you. They need your product or they need your help. Now we can start talking. Let's talk. Now we can talk. Let's talk. So, but what I'm saying is, I don't know if you get me, guys. Man, maybe it's just me thinking otherwise, guys. I don't know. But let me just go to the comments. I've been talking for so long here. Reggie, okay, before I go to Reggie, oh yeah, like Russell Sharp said, stop giving them minerals without the tech. We coming, we show y'all how to handle those gay as country. Okay. Patricia Matthews, Africans know how to build their countries better than the West. It was Africans who built America, Europe, civilization in Africa. Wow. Good one. Reggie says, peace and blessing, my brother. Mwanatezi, man, maybe Mwanatezi should join me. I always like his perspective. Mwanatezi is still around. I think I need to bring you in, man. Review site, Swahili Nation, at the recent concluded BRICS Summit in South Africa, all other countries were speaking in their national languages, but sub-Saharan countries were struggling colonial languages. Why? Review site, I'm not sure if you, maybe, I'm not sure if you live in Africa or you live in any African country. there's a lot that has not been developed. I mean, and you must understand another thing, not that I'm making an excuse why the local languages were not used. Very few countries have really official, you might have official languages, but you find that one language is not enough, because you find a country that has 100, let's say 100 languages, right? You need translators from that language to other languages, either English or French, to whatever, to those guests who are there, because they've got translators, all of them. As much as they speak different languages, there's still translations, because other people do not speak other people's languages. So, and again, other languages have not developed well in terms of the the language part, the text, things like that. Others have. It's just them not being put forward in terms of their languages. Especially some of the presidents, you find that why are they not using their mother tongue? I mean, they are not really mother tongue, but their language, their home languages. Some of them, they're not even official in their countries. It's a language that is official on paper. You say, okay, there's a language like this, but in terms of there's nothing, no syllabus, nothing on that language. It's just spoken by people. But yeah, that's something that we need to develop and make it efficient. I think somebody can read for us who's maybe a French-speaking country or whatever. I'm not sure whether it's French. It looks like French to me. Free Gabon in Africa. Anna Swatko, yes. One love, Africa. Patricia Morris. Peace and love. Mwendatezi to Reggie. One Africa. Chinibu must go. France is wicked. Put puppet leaders that they are real cool friends. I don't know what to say on that. Lots of flowing water. Benny, yes, Patricia, big up. Let's see this one. Tell the scavengers of Europe, leave all black countries. We don't need their help. No services, they can keep their second-hand clothes and food. Wow. Wow, man. Yeah. Babaliko, thank you for the super chat. Al-Kebulan, General Africans was a Roman general. Who's this now? Says Al-Kebulan. Okay, I know that's another word for Africa. I've heard. I don't really know the historical facts. I've heard about it. It's something that I still need to do research on. General Africanus was a Roman general who conquered and colonized the continent. That is Holy Land and should reclaim her name. Albany, bless up. I wonder if Mondates is still here, you know? Walusungu, I might share it, but not sure yet. Not sure how long I'm gonna stay. If I'm not sure how long I'm gonna stay. Let's see. Say what? The rich need to stop spending all money like they are king. Look at Rwanda. They beg France and had them at war. Stop making excuse, bro. I'm not sure who's making excuse. Patricia, for some reason, good leaders never last long. Bad seed always linger around. Hey, man, we need to remove this bad seed. Not to linger at all. a divided country cannot stand, bro. You keep making excuse for them, puppets. Rwanda can show them way. What can Rwanda show? Show them way. Show them way. God ain't coming. You have help yourself. I'm not sure what you're saying about can show them way. Rwanda can show them way. Okay, Russell, I'm not sure there what you're saying. What's another thing? I'm an African American and have a 1-year-old son born in Tanzania. His name is Peace. And listening to you here is very comforting to know that Conan is on the right path of unification. Then Alex Awoke, West Africa, you are doing great. Africa best free from neo-colonialist and imperialist Western and USA from country. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what else there it is. West Africa, you are doing great. Africa, okay, I think that's one. I saw it already. West Africa, you're doing great. But yeah, we can continue talking about Gabon. But I think this is also, we know that Gabon is it's the next country now. But this thing is across the continent at the moment with the coups and leadership squabbles and leadership change. So where is it going next? And those who know more about Gabon is also a rich country. I know some people will really might not know about Gabon. Gabon is it's an oil-rich country. One of the best natural resources as well in terms of nature. They're good at conservancy as well. There's a lot of natural things that they've really kept well. That's some of the little things that I know about Gabon. But yes, issues, people, boils down to people's needs and people's issues. Let's go back to, I'm just going to go back to the comment. Okay, you're doing great. Africa must be free. Okay. Review site. What really makes you to love an African leader? First of all, if it's review site, if it's my question about me saying I love the leaders, as a person, and besides, a person is not defined by him being a leader. There's the person behind you being appointed. There's an appointed leader, and there's a leader in everyone. I mean, for you to be a person in life, you need to lead your life. That's the first leadership role you have, is to lead your life. And if I love you as a person, I don't really have to agree with you to love you. That's maybe in short why I say we love all our African leaders. We know that some may be doing wicked things. We understand those things. But as a person, we don't carry hate. We will not agree with you doing wrong things, obviously. That we hate if you're doing wrong. If you're stealing from the people, we hate that. That is just straightforward. But you as a person, if you leave everything, if we just take you as a person and say, you're not touching anything, I'll still love you as a person. But the wrong that you're doing, wrong decisions that you're doing, or your greed and stuff, those obviously goes without saying. But as a person, they can do better. Some of them. Biggie, hey, Biggie, it's been long, man. I miss you, Biggie. I need to give you a call. We need to talk, Biggie. We need to talk. It's been a while. It's been. We need to talk, Biggie. I need to call you. We need to talk. I see Mwendatezi, you're still here as well. You're here. Welcome, Biggie. We love you, Biggie, and I love your review site as well. Yo, man, Biggie, we miss you. People miss you. We need you, Biggie. We need you. Gabon woke you up, Biggie. Another one was also just before then, earlier, about review site saying, why are you so naive about African leaders? What's so naive? Maybe if you can elaborate there, review site, about naive. Let's see, Abeni Mafra, rise up Gabon. Yeah. Exactly, we need Gabon that's functioning. We need Gabon that's going to manage its resources well. Rich oil country. We need to see Gabon that's competing with the likes of the Dubais, the UAEs, and all those countries. I mean, looking at the wealth of that country. Russell Sharp, our fake ass leaders get bought out also and work for Coca-Cola. That's when people sell their soul. That's what they get for selling their soul short. Too many hands in pot. That's easy. That's easy. They lies get rid all of them old men. It's time. No older than 60. All the oldies. If you're over 60, they say resign. Russell Sharp says, hey, they must be out. Mismanagement. I'm just going through almost everyone's comments, guys, for the most part. But yeah, what should Gabon be doing? I mean, going back to Gabon, guys, if we had to really be serious, what is Gabon doing? What should the new leadership, the coup leaders, or whoever you want to call them, doing for Gabon? What's the way forward for them? Because be seeing them, they just took over a country. What's the way forward? What should be they doing if they really, really want to lead well? That's something that I would love to hear from me, instead of just sometimes using this African leaders over 60 must be all out. What should the leaders be doing? I mean, or a country like this, the people should be, what should they prepare? If you've been in a country where there's been turmoil, and what was it like? And how will you encourage the people of Gabon at the moment? How will you even encourage people in Mali, Niger, or even Burkina Faso, those countries, for example, but mainly Gabon? Right now, they are going through a shaking in their country. What should they be? What should they do? What the people on the ground, especially in this moment, and then the leaders, those who've taken over, what should they be doing? I mean, we need those things. Because some of the things for us, keep it moving. Another suggestion: People's Union of Africa, Abeni. Yeah, that's something else right there. Another suggestion: People's Union of Africa. I like that. Like someone who's throwing names out there. Let's think of a name for our continent, a new name. Maybe it's no longer Africa. Others want to say People's Union of Africa, the United States of Africa. There's been other names that have been thrown out there, or maybe another African name. We have to agree, because I know people sometimes they get attached to their tribe and their language. If they had to use mine and say, I don't want to put the name out there because I know people will jump on me, but I'm just saying, like, maybe take from one of the African countries or African languages and make a name change from Africa to something else. I don't like the states being Albania. I don't like the states. Bit of United States of Africa reminds me of America too much. We must come up with our own alternative suggestions. Welcome. Exactly. That's all the mother. The Joseph brothers sold. Oh, Joseph's brothers sold him also, according to the book, and got rid of them scamming preachers. They can't save the South. We stand with people. I guess you're trying to say when his brothers sold him. That is there. Okay. Stand Up West Africa. Okay, wow, another one by Patricia Matthews. Africa is rising piece by piece until the whole continent is complete. Exactly. Stand up West Africa. Okay, I'm just gonna go down. I see there's what? Kaiser Empire. It's been long since I spoke to you, brother. I think the last time I spoke to you, we were talking about Bitcoins and cryptocurrencies. Russell Sharp, we love you, Gabon, Niger, Guinea. Get rid of the rest of them puppets. EFF. To join, okay. Africans for Africans. Africa for Africans. Louis V. Wow. Videos spreading on social media of 6 million found in Gabon presidential estate. Can anyone confirm validity? I don't know. I don't know the validity of this. And also, let's be careful, especially when some of the things are headlining like this. You're gonna get even fake news. There'll be also stories that people will create. Not that I'm defending this story, but sometimes let's just be careful of what we hear as well. Just, it could be true. I'm not saying it's not true, but I'm just saying let us also be aware that such things can happen. Invite Biggie and Swahili Nation. Yeah, man, Biggie and maybe let me see. If we need to, be really nice to speak to Biggie, because he says Gabon woke him up. Yeah, Biggie, we can't wait for you to come back, man. Your show is still there, your slot is still there. So Biggie, whenever, this is your home. We need you. Let's see. I see Marie Internet. It's also there. Nice seeing you, Marie Internet. Cheryl. Okay, what's this again? Gabon, they need to be quiet for a while and set up a good plan like Sankara. The people are already on side. Once they formulate their plan, the people can get to work with food sovereignty first. No, I think that's a good statement. That's what we need, family. We also need to send words of encouragement to the people of Gabon. And also the new leadership that has taken over. We need to find out what's their plan. Where do they want to take the country forward? Are we going to have some elections very soon? What's the plan? And we need to hear such things. We need to hear such things, because what if it's just greedy people who are just taking power, and we're just going to have a disaster? So we need more. And just as a word of encouragement, I really like people to really comment on what's the way forward for Gabon? What should Gabon be doing going forward? That's something that we need to cover as well. But obviously, as the developing stories, we've seen the president pleading and asking for help. We don't know who's going to respond among maybe other sitting presidents in the neighboring countries and all over the world. And what should happen to him as a president now that there's a new leaders that have taken over power? What do you think should happen? Should he be punished? We've heard that maybe they won't do anything. Maybe they'll do something to his son. But what's the way forward? And are they the only one? Because I don't think it'll be only one family. I'm sure there's a lot of people who might have done other wrong things in the country, and they still need to account if it's financial or whether it's whatever. We need to find out more, and they need to come up with evidence, because sometimes we don't want just a media court. Because there was a word in my country where people are trialed on the media. Their cases never get to court. And when we call the media trial is smear campaigns, some people are just, it's always a smear campaign. And when you really say, okay, publication X, you've said this guy is corrupt, there's never been a case open about against that person, but this media publication will always say this one is corrupt, he's stealing the money. But there's no one who has even opened a case to say this is the issue, go to the court or whatever. And some of them, you find that after all the allegations that this person stole money, it's found out that this person, like years later or a year later, after they've really tarnished someone, then the real truth happens that this person was innocent all this time. So it becomes something else. Then you like, so the media trial sometimes can be something else, where a smear campaign can be the media war. Because another war is through media. People sometimes think it's always guns and AK-47s in war. There's also the media war, the mind wars, how they use media to decampaign against somebody or to tarnish somebody so that they can discredit him and the people hate him, and then they can take him out of power easy because the people have turned against him because they just think he's corrupt, he's like this, he's like this, he's like that. So what do you think should happen now and moving ahead with Gabon? Should it be a trial against all the ministers who are in the country and all the leaders in the country? I mean, those are the things that we need to ask ourselves. Because sometimes you might think you've removed corruption by removing one person, only to find out there's a lot that is rotting underneath the head. We just see the head, we're thinking removing the head will solve all our problems. But the system in Gabon, is it conducive? Is the system working? Is the system corrupted as well? Because if systems are corrupted, even if you remove the leader, it will not help until we take out the rot from inside. And when I say rot and corruption, I'm not talking about even people who are supposed to in government offices. Are they doing their job well? Is it always corruption? Is it money? Give me this, I can help you with this if you give me this. Because now that's even beyond even the president now. Because you remove the president, yes, you're supposed to make sure that these people are doing the right things. But you remove that, but the system is still rotting and failing. Even if you come and say, I'm in power, I remove this one, I'll do better. But if your systems are rotten, you'll not get it right. You're just working behind. You'll have all the good intentions, but your system is just eating you. It's eating your leadership. Someone says African countries do not want to pay the price of their problems to be fixed for the next generation and to have a life free from the Western world. Instead, they want to amass wealth in the outside. Another one by Betty Z. Melos. World is the rulers of the Western world. We need African leaders like Isaiah. So I support the coup. We need people's leaders who oppose Western world. Okay. That's Betty Melos. We need people's leaders who oppose Western world. And then like another thing, let's challenge one another. What is this Western world that we need to oppose? And how do what system are we putting in place? Because sometimes it's too vague to say we need to oppose the West, we are against the West. I've had some comrades in politics who say, we will not stand against the US. But later on, he's drinking Coca-Cola. Somebody was saying they pay our leaders with Coca-Cola. They're drinking the American products. They live the American lifestyle. But in the platforms, when they need votes, they'll be like, we will not be, we'll oppose the America. We oppose Europe. And what are you bringing to the table? What is there that you're going to build for your people? Because that's what you need to emphasize, so that your people can know the ideas that they need to use now to channel their mind into. What are the things that we as a people need to do? We need to show us, instead of just always saying, America, you are doing this. America, you are not fair. France, you are doing this. I'm just provoking you, family, because I want us to talk more with solutions. What do we do now? Let's say, fine, France, go, pack their diplomatic, their embassy, whole of Africa, and they leave, you know. They leave and say, thank you, Africa. Bye-bye. We are going back to France. We are going to Paris. They go back to their country. What do we do? Because at the end of the day, we still need to work. And what's the plan now? What do we do? How do we start building? How do we start coming up with our own systems? Because it seems like it's like sometimes when I hear statements, I'm wondering myself, this is what goes to my mind. Yes, we've got a great idea, but then my sister, my brother, what is the plan for us now? It seems like you cannot act because France is still in your country. It's like France must leave, then I'll think of a plan when France is gone. That's the thinking I'm getting. Like sometimes just say, America must leave. Okay, fine. America pack their bags. Thank you. It was nice being here. We were benefiting. We'll go somewhere and look for it. We'll go to our country and see what we can do in our country. Pack their bags and leave. What's your plan then? What do you do as a person, as a country? Have you prepared your people for that or not? Or your people, you still say America must leave, but your people will jump their borders running to America again. And you are like this hero that you are. Sometimes I think nothing is stopping us from starting to develop ourselves. Whether the countries that we complain about, those nations are here or not, we still need to do our job. It does not substitute. We will not start working. We cannot wait for them to leave for us to start working. We need to work while now, whether they are around or not, we still need to work. We still need to put things in place. And I know some people will say, no, that's how they monitor us. That's how they sabotage us. But what's stopping them from sabotaging you even if they are not in the country? Because they've got a lot of resources to sabotage you. Nothing is stopping them. And nothing should also stop us from doing something just because there's countries that we think they are not playing fair. We should still fight. We should do our thing. We should still do things that will develop us as a people. We should not say, yeah, you know what? One day when France is gone in Africa, Africa will be free. Free and then what? Free from what? Free that desperate people left. What do you have now? What do you do? How do you feed your people? Do you have a plan to feed your people? Do you have a plan to industrialize your country? Do you have a plan to unite your people? Are those things there in place, or it's just something that you're campaigning so that you can be the only one? Because some people, I think sometimes they're just campaigning to become the new masters. It's like we've just changed faces, color, faces, and then there's the new black masters. I'm just provoking your I'm not saying it's like that, but I'm just thinking, let's think, guys. Sometimes let's not be naive by just people saying we are here to save you. Let's also deal with them. Let's ask them proper questions. It's like getting into a relationship just because we're saying like, no, I'm leaving this boyfriend for this boyfriend. This one is the new one. Yeah, this is the one. I want this one. This new boyfriend. I'm leaving this girl, this boyfriend. This old one is boring me now. This one is, the old one is too, no, this old one, I want a new boyfriend. This new boyfriend is the one. I'm leaving this one. Do you think you moving from one boyfriend to another just still solves your internal issue? If you've got problems that are in you that you need to deal with, will it solve your problem going to another one? And what makes that other boyfriend way better? Do you think he'll treat you better than this one that left? I'm just making illustration. I'm just making an illustration, guys, just for illustration purposes. Because sometimes, like, we're so quick to jump in bed to another one. Oh, that one makes me laugh. Oh, that one slept my ex-boyfriend. No, I'm just saying, like, let's just think. Sometimes let's question everybody the same. Whether it's the French or the new leaders that are coming, or is it just, we're just changing faces, but the mindset is still not changed. So as much as we may think somebody's going to save us, we want to question them. Yes, you're a new leader. What do you bring to the table? What's the plan for this country? Do you love this country? Are you going to do what's right? Are you going to not repeat the same mistakes? Some people will just repeat the same mistakes. Maybe they come in, we think, oh, the new one, this is the one, be happy now. And then 20 years down the line, it's still the one that's now it's acting like that one. It's like we're moving from toxic to toxic. I've heard people talk about people who move from one toxic relationship to another toxic relationship. They're just addicted to toxicity, you know. So what do we do? That's that, for me. That's where I'm looking at this as something. It's a long. It's something we still have a long way to go. But we're not giving up, and we still believe in our continent. We still believe in our people, and we need to work, and we need to put everything just to make sure that our people are out of poverty. Our people are happier. They can build the confidence of our people. So, yeah. My point exactly, Mundatezi. I'll come to your point. So we need to find out the new leaders. Also, let's just do a track record of the new leaders, coup leaders from now. I'm just challenging us as a people, because I think sometimes we jump so much. We love dancing and celebrating so quickly. Let's do a verification check of all the leaders in the continent. And even the new coup leaders. I like how what Mendatezi said about nobody's curious about the track record of the coup leaders. Let's check the coup leaders as well. The people who've the interim government, whatever you want to call it, coup leaders, interim government. Let's do a thorough check and just check each and every member there and just see what have you done. You find somebody's a murderer, he's killing people. He's got a track record of killing people, and we are here clapping hands. And then when he's in real power, he's gonna be very destructive. Because so let's also do a thorough check on each and everyone. Whoever's coming now, even those who are now in power, we need to check on them. We need to look at their profile. What have they done? What are they doing? That's my thing. I don't want us to just be and just say, "Whoa, he's out. Something, a new dawn is coming." And what new dawn? It's still early to say that. They still need to go through the fire of leadership as well. Still need to go through the criticism. Will they allow criticism? Will they shut down media because it's not maybe favoring them? There's a lot that you need to think of when new leadership comes in. Or is it going to divide the country? Because it can divide a country. It might look small now until there's another uprising that wants to back the old president. What do we do? Those are also important voices, whether we like it or not. There's also still important voices. There's people who still support maybe Ali Bongo. So what if there's an uprising as well that says, do not touch our president. We still think he's a president. We elected him. We'll go to the street. Now it's the people now fighting for leaders. Existing, new. So we need to pray for such things, and we need to really think with a sober mind. That's just my thinking. I want to hear your points as well. Let me see something. President, who's the longest running president in the Aquas country? Yeah, that's a good question. Who's the longest running president in the Aquas countries? I'm not sure, Biggie. Oh, the Togolese president. No, I didn't know that. So things like this, earlier, as I said, we've got long-serving presidents in our continent. Whether they are voted democratically or not, or whatever you want to call it, you don't believe in their elections, or even if they are legit, the elections are free and fair, they won. As leaders, this is a question I was just saying to presidents in Africa. Yes, they voted you. 20 years, people are voting for you. Oh, your people love you so much. And they are voting for you. You are doing something that people believe is right for the country. But what if tomorrow they change? Because people will always change. They can love you today, especially when it comes to leadership. When it doesn't benefit them, out anymore. So, and how you leave power is very important. I think a lot of our African leaders need to sit down and start thinking, what if tomorrow, for example, the Togolese president, I've never been to Togo, and I'm not saying I'd love to go to Togo. And as I said, for example, let's say the president of Togo, tomorrow there's an uprising in the country. They say, Mr. President, we've lost confidence in you. Will we have the same thing now, the president going and taking videos? Yo, my friends, come and help me. It's so painful. It's something that really, for me, when I look at such things, I'm like, you could have left power early while things were still good. You know? Because now if you're going to sit there 40 years, I mean, I'm just asking myself, to the long-serving presidents, when is the right time to leave power? Or is it, do we want another, are we gonna say a coup? When coup comes, then we have to support you and have to cry with you. Is that what you want? A coup is what deserves a long president? Because sometimes it's like we're seeing the same thing repeat itself in Africa. Same strategy. Somebody sits in power, they voted everything until the military says something else. The military says something else, something totally different. They're like, Mr. President, thank you, but we think it's time for you to go and take care of your grandchildren and enjoy your pension and your retirement with your wife. Do we still need that? Because I think our leaders, you've seen so much. You've seen your fellow friends and presidents who have lost power through coups already. Why are you still there? 50 years, 30 years, you want to still be in power? I know you might feel that you still have the energy, you still have the strength to run a country, but sometimes think. It's an embarrassment when we see great leaders get executed, killed, whatever. I mean, it doesn't paint a good picture. I think for the long presidents, I'm sorry, but sometimes we need to just look at some of the things in Africa, the trends. Let's look at trends and say, hey, what if the people turn against me? And I'm talking to all long-serving presidents. And as I said, we're not saying people now in every country where there's a long-serving president, rise up, remove your president. No, we're not saying that. Because some people, they tend to just think too much and now start saying, yeah, those young boys, they think we want to deal with them. And that's not what we're saying. We're just saying, think. It'll be painful to see you in live TV. Now you're no longer in your suits. We start seeing you half naked as an old person. It's not a good picture to see that, and we don't wish upon anyone. See, when it says this, isn't that how the YouTube headlines praise incompetent leaders for opposing the West? Hey, man. Let me see something here. Benny says, plan to feed people. A community or nation effort requires everyone contributing financially, our own financial pot or physical boots on the ground, diaspora and homegrown. That's another suggestion right there. When the Tezi says, those who think East and West will go to war because of Africa should study history. They'll have a conference in a European city and have an agreement on how to exploit us. Exactly. Someone says, Lou IS says, military could be good. That is Chavez. Don't know about these guys, though. We don't know about them. We need to know more about them. Then, again, he says, the good thing about that is that they could have a long-term plan. They could have long-term plans if they have any. We are here to hear their plans. Because sometimes I think we're so clouded by other things in the media space that, that are not really helping us to find the real plans from this new leadership that is in those countries. And again, I mean, with such military coups, something that I always ask myself, if you say there's going to be elections, are you also running as, are you becoming a political party? Are you standing for president as, let's say you were a former general or you were a general in the military and you decide to take over the government with the soldiers, and then you say there's going to be elections. Do you now step back? The coup leaders purely from military background. Are you guys going to be taking a step back and saying, civilians must stand for presidency with their parties, or are you going to stand and say, We are also contesting the elections. And what if the people's, we love you, but because one of the funny thing that I sometimes, that just something just struck me right now, just a thought. What if, yes, these are the coup leaders, they come into power, and then they say we're going to have elections. Fine, elections are coming. And the people of Gabon or the people of Niger or Burkina Faso says, hey, military, we love you. You've done a great thing by removing so-and-so, but for government, you are not fit. For soldiers protecting the country, we give you 100% support, but to be in leadership, to run a country policy and all the things that are needed to run a country, we don't think you are competent for that. We don't believe, we love you, but we cannot put you in government. Go back to the barracks and stuff. Will they allow such? Will they? How will they take what's this? How will they take that decision from the people? And somebody comes in who's just a normal civilian who doesn't have a military background, or will they also say you are crazy? We fought for this country. We deserve to be in power. Because some of the things we need to when military takes over a country, we should really think twice, family. We shouldn't just jump around. For me, exactly, not just for me, I don't just jump around when I see such. Are they just there as an interim until there's election? Will they go back to their army bases once the elections have been set and new leaders are chosen? Or are they also standing? For me, doesn't kind of, I always question their intentions, regardless of whether they have good intention or not. But for you, when you're going to, are you going to stand? Are you going to go back to the basis and say, you know what? Let now the election process take its course. We think we've done our part as a country to protect our country from maybe a dictator or from failed leadership, whatever you want to call it. And then you're going to take a step back, or you're going to say, we've removed this ones and we'll also be standing for. That's just another thing that needs to be asked from the military. So that's just my question that I want to just quickly ask to also answer. Because for me, the military thing, I see it, but at the same time, I question everything. I question everything. So we need to ask ourselves really, really deep questions, family. So yeah, that's something that that's been on my mind, family, and I think we really need to sit down and question everybody. Everybody must come to the interview. Everybody must be interviewed. I just think everybody needs to be interviewed. I think everybody needs to be interviewed. That's just my take on this. New leadership, old leadership, whatever you call it. So if the leadership is not going to serve the people, then we might as well forget about change, because it's just going to take us back. So, but yeah, I'm just gonna open the line, but I think I'm only left with like 20 minutes. Those who wanna just come, but let's just stick to Gabon. I'm not gonna really just maybe 2 minutes out, 2 minutes each. Whoever wants to come in, they can just click the link. But we're not gonna. I'm not gonna stay in long because it's already late from my side, and I think I've said a mouthful. It's already almost 3 hours. But it's just something. If you want to come through, let's talk about Gabon. What's the way forward? How do we help Gabon? How do we help Niger? But more specifically now Gabon, which is the latest that we've seen a military coup. Let's hope. Let's say now that scenario that I had said, that what if the people say, "Thank you, military, but not in government." I hear Abeni says the people's voices must be paramount. The military will have to accept it if they have the people's best interest at heart. And then Lou IS says we do not know whose interest they will work for yet. The working class, the rich, their own interest. It's another good question to ask. Whose interest will they work for? All these new governments or interim governments, military coups, whatever you want to call them. And then when the says they can go back to the barracks, new president won't trust them. It will be interesting, eh? And then Biggie says every elected president, prime minister should always represent the interests of his country and the people he represents. True. And then Abeni again says, time will provide us with the answers to those questions. I think Troll is trustworthy by his speeches, but we'll have to wait and see. Biggie says, I do not believe in coup d'etats, but that is the result of not upholding the rule of law and questioning the interests of the people. Exactly. I think the other one we've already touched on. But if anyone wants to come and join us, I think I have my brother here, Mwendatezi. Mr. Tezi.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, brother.
How are you, man? How have you been?
Hey, man. Busy, bro. I am
Yeah,
busy.
even Africa, you see, even the West Africa has been busy. You know, people.
Hey, man. As I was asking earlier, Mwendatezi, and excuse me, family, I'm on load shedding. I just lost power here. As some of you might know or have heard of what we call load shedding, that power leaves for 2 hours every day, different parts of the country. Unless if you live in an industrial area or place where there's like public hospitals, those areas never lose power. But because of something that our government failed on, which was not building capacity, and obviously electrifying almost the whole country, but they're not building new capacity. And obviously a country is growing, new infrastructure on top of you electrifying the whole country, then you will have such things because not sure, 90-something% of our country is electrified. But anyway, yeah, so that's one of those issues where we are. Some of the bad leadership programs, or not so good leadership, that some of us had to lose power now. I'll be without power from now until 2 a.m. Okay, now it's like just after midnight in where I am. But yeah, that's some of the things that bad leadership sometimes does. This is the answers, or the what you get. And now people who can afford more things, they've now put generators and solar just for that 2 hours whenever, just to not inconvenience yourself. But for some of us, we'll see when to get those solar and inverters and all these other things, just to cushion ourselves. But yeah. But anyway, Mwenetezi, welcome, brother. What's your take on this?
Yeah, I have just a few things to say, especially when it comes to these things about coups in Africa. And I think I even said it last time, but as you can see, this thing is, I don't know, I think this thing is spreading. It might even, they might surprise us, and, we think it's an East African country can surprise us here and give us a coup or something. But in the end of the day, what I see when I see these coups, especially when you look at the Francophone countries like Gabon, you see them maybe having the Russian flag, and people celebrating and all this. But I'm like you when I talk about caution, because these people, this Russian, Chinese, Wagner, or whoever who is now fighting the West, or whoever seems to be against the West, and now you see that because we are also against the West, we are together. We should look at history, because these people have never, when they were also clashing about Africa, it's not new. When they got heated up, they went to a European city. Is it Germany? The Berlin, is it Berlin Conference or Lancaster? I don't know which one it is. The Berlin Conference. And they all agreed, okay, this is how we are going to exploit this continent. So I call out to my brothers in West Africa who are waving the Russian flag to be very careful, thinking that these are our friends. When you go to Russia as an African, and you see how they'll treat you compared to a white American. Go to China as an African, see how they'll treat you compared to a white American. You will see the difference. These people do not hate each other the way you think they hate. If you think they hate each other, they hate you more. Just know, as an African, so we should be very careful with these people. Secondly, I want to talk about this wave of, and I agree with you. We should be looking at the track records of these leaders. We should not be just accepting any leader here who is really incompetent. And I feel like this is something that I talked about Pan-Africanism. We should always be looking at. I know people see this as boring details, the details of these leaders and the details of their plans, and it's boring. It's not romantic like the way when he gives a good. These leaders are good. There's a reason why they are leaders. There's a reason why they are. They know how to talk. They know how to. There is a reason why we are seeing them here on the cameras. There is a reason. They are very good with their mouth. We give them a microphone. They will show you why they are leaders, But when it comes to now the details, the boring details on what they are going to do about their countries, when we look about the statistics about how healthcare, how many people are receiving healthcare, how many people are dying of hunger, how many people. When we look at the boring statistics, this is where we should be very vigilant. Like, okay, this is where we should be judging them. Okay, you found your country with this percentage of electricity. What have you done in this 1 year? What are your plans to I know we should. I know as I said again, it's boring, but this is really where Africans changed, and this is what I know. It is much more fun to talk about resources. oh, the resources have been stolen from Africa. But the truth is that all our Pan-Africanism should always be people-centered. How are the people getting education? Well, how many people, you know, as a leader, how many people in your country have received, are educated, are literate? You know, some of these countries, more than half the population, most of the population cannot read and write. And you know, and he's talking about, oh, we are going to fight the West. We can, no. Educate the people, my friend. Let us, before you even talk about the West, let us talk about how can you educate these people. So that before you talk about resources, you know, a person who is well-read will not go to those mines. And, you know, somebody who is educated also, it's not going to be easy to convince him to go to those mines and start, you know, getting, you know, it is harder to exploit an educated African. So first of all, let us talk about, okay, how are you going to educate these people? You know, the boring things. Then these things about fighting for, I think it will become, it will just, as the population becomes more and more enlightened and educated, these things about fighting Africa, fighting the West, or fighting for our resources, it becomes natural. It is very, even, you know, look at, you know, this thing about resources. There are countries in this world, they don't even have anything. You know, look at Singapore, look at, they don't have resources, but they are doing way better than us who are obsessed with the resources that really, to me, is distraction. You're just distracting us from the real issues, and is the people. You know? Yeah, to me, when you talk about the diamonds, the oil, man, I don't care about that. Those are just things that are under the ground. You know, what we should care about is the people. The people who are they getting what they need to get to thrive? You know. So to me, that's what I'm pushing for. That this is a perspective that is usually missed from the other people. So let me allow. That is just my small input. Let me give space for others to talk.
Yeah, Big is here, Mandatezi. So the family is here today, you know.
Well, welcome, Biggie. We have missed you. A great surprise today. A great surprise.
Well, let's start. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Africa. All my brothers and sisters, SWAHILI Nation One Africa. I'm kind of back. I'm listening on the background. I support all the movement, everything that's been happening in the SWAHILI Nation One Africa. And I really appreciate for all of you that has the tenacity and with all the challenges that comes, and you're still putting the struggle, the words, everything that you put in behind in this SWAHILI Nation One Africa, we will prevail. And eventually everything that we talked about last year is happening. It is happening back and back and back. And right now, when I said, you know, Gabon woke me up, it's like Gabon, you know, Gabon. It's like a big explosion right there. You know what I mean? But again, you know, as I put it together, I don't believe in coup d'etat. Okay, coup d'etat for me, I'll be the person that you can ask me on what happened to a coup d'etat, because they brought down Haile Selassie and I was there. And when the military took over, everything else that is in the interest of what the military wants to do, and those clashes are more of attacking another African country. Again, you know, that's independent now, that's Eritrea, and everything was against Eritrean. Instead of bringing them on the table and discuss about it, they just said, hey, you know, with the might, we're going to do this. So we know what the military can do because they have armed. We have an example in Sudan on what's going on, because the military gave it halfway to share the power and never worked. Look at what Sudan is. So there's a lot of other examples of when the military coup d'etat has happened, and now not only you're famous by the people when they accept you, because everybody chanted, great, you know, we got now a new government that's coming for the Haile Selassie. But again, what happened at the end is the oppression and the torture and the killing and the massacre that's been done. 39,000 students that been shot and killed and been dumped in front of your door. So I have the experience when it comes to a military. I question it, like you said, Mondatezi. We question what is going to be, who are the people, who are the new leading, because again, it's not about the West. We cannot blame the West. We are the one that's going to take action on how we want to live and how we're going to breathe and sleep, eat Africa. We are the Africans. We are the one that's going to be making the decision. First, let's get together and put our house in order. Putting your house in order, and then the people will decide which way they want, what's the interest. Again, with all these countries that have the resources, like you said about Singapore, that has no resources, imagine they use the human resource in order to be successful. For us, we got the human resource and as well the minerals. We are the largest in the world that can produce all these minerals. But if we don't know how to export them for the benefit of our people, then it's all going to be a few people that's going to put money in their pocket, and they get fat. Believe me, they get fat. And eventually they'll say, okay, we're going to do this. But how long? 20 years? 25 years? Because we're going to repeat the same old singing. The way they started, the way they're going to end up is like another Gabon history. Is going to be another Niger history. It's a vicious cycle, you know. So if the military take over, okay, we have to understand: are they willing to go by the Constitution or write a Constitution where everybody benefits and is equal for everybody? Then you go and try to vote. Again, it's a military, so you always have that doubt because they'll go door to door and convince you you gotta vote for this or not. You'll have an issue. That's why the military coup d'etat never been popular. But right now, the way I look at the target now is not the presidency. The target is the French colonizers. From everything that I see so far, is the French colonizers, and they still had their hands in there, and they're saying hands off. You see, that is very, very important. When it comes to the Ethiopian revolution, it came against the emperor, and it came against that administration that did not satisfy on certain people, certain groups, where they form a military coup d'etat. Okay, but this is something that is moving furthermore, not in the country, but furthermore for the neocolonists that still have their hand on their country, and they're telling them hands off. And I just wish that everything goes well for Mali, for Niger, for Burkina Faso, for Benin. There's a lot of strong young men that trying to put it together. And this, surprisingly, again, Gabon was one of the longest reign on his family. His father was a president before that. So it took over and it came to this end. Now, when you look at all this leadership, they had a lot of dip and payoffs from the French government. And it's crazy that all your money that you're making for your country goes in the central bank of France. Unheard of. What happened to the colonialism is still there. So these countries that came in, they're revolting on what's going on the exploitation and versus on what the people interest never met. And that's why they took their arm and effectively, successfully got this coup d'etat. And yesterday on Gabon, after the final election, the still president again, and took over. That's even, they waited until the clock runs, maybe in a hope there will be another president, but it didn't. It happened, the same guy, so they took over. So again, I don't encourage to have a coup d'etat on a democratically elected president, especially if it is not somebody that's been ruling for gazillion years, but somebody that came in and we can solve it when it comes. That's why you have parliament. That's why you have a lot of opposition that can really argue on the table. But right now, for this case of Gabon and Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, this is to tell the Frenchies to stay away from the land, and that's it. So that's the struggle right now. Okay, it doesn't just say the West, but specifically for what the French were doing all these years, that under African Union knows on what's going on, and never been fought for them because they always shut them out. Because who found the African Union still? EU. Still EU got the hand on African Union. And France is under EU. So go figure. So the money is being fed for the few, where they shut everybody's mouth. And they keep doing what they're doing. It's a lot of money that's been extracted from all the French ex-colonies to what, until last 2 years, 3 years? Not too long ago. Can you imagine? Independence since 1960, and they're still paying the colonizers money, which is just French. So we have to realize, like, again, like you said, Montezi, I support you on that. We need to make sure that we got a good background check. And I asked on my chat, I said, you know, who's the longest running president now in the ECOWAS? It's Togo. So Togo people are really going out the street. People being killed. You know, they're revolting. So this kind of action can be very contagious. It's like a brush fire. If all these countries that did it happened, hey, you know, you never know. I won't be surprised if there's any uprising and change of regime in Togo. That's why I've been asking that, because they've been there for the longest. And I wish Africa hears and support the people. The people are the one that's going to be in this cloud, taken, you know, maybe as a victim, taken maybe as a great heroes to support it, and at the same time grow their people. Because at the end of the day, Gabon has 45% poverty. They're not even 3 million people. With all this oil that's been exploited all these years, Gabon should be sitting on a rich, wealthy country, just like Libya. Just like Libya, they were supposed, during Gaddafi time, people were taken care of. All that oil, yes, Gaddafi was one of the coup d'etat, but at the same time, he turned around and started helping his people, not only helping his people, but at the same time, he wants to help the rest of Africa. So let's hope, you know, all these coup leaders now put themselves together, and really, they are part of the ECOWAS, but I don't know anymore because they don't recognize them. But they will put the idea together, stay tied together, and start showing Africa that they are the leaders. Because when they are together, when they start thinking, when they start talking, they'll make greater presidents. Because before the corruption, before they get corrupted, before they get in this maze of tits for tats, quid for quo, all this, if they are talking and start reinforcing on how to get rid of the neo-colonists, then we'll see a great movement. And I wish them luck for all of them, for the leadership, for the people to adhere, to understand, and no more bloodshed, and keep it that way. This is my little say for today. So excited to be on the show.
Yeah, great to hear you, Biggie. Yeah, man, and family. These voices that you are hearing, they are part of Swahili Nation family, and they shouldn't be surprised one of these days when they're expecting His Excellency Mika or myself, and they just see him when Tezi comes in and brace us, or Biggie comes in here. So these are our co-hosts as well. They are part of the Swahili Nation family. So when you hear them, do not be shocked and say who is this and stuff, because the family has grown. If you guys have noticed, we've got a lot of a family that have joined us in recently, and some of them they might not be familiar with our voices, but others who have followed us for a long time, they know about this. But T'Challa, my brother, this sister, it says device not connected. I'm not sure what device did you not connect. Can you just try to connect something there? I'm not sure what you need. Maybe log out and log in again. And then yeah. And I see I'm not gonna stay long. I'm just gonna put another 15 minutes or so, and then we'll be saying shalom, because we've been here for 3 hours. I know we used to do 7 hours, 10 hours,
11 hours. 11 hours
in the morning.
11 hours.
I know
That's a record.
We're not gonna stop. But tomorrow,
What was that?
try to have another stream, family. Biggie, Mandatezi, if you're free tomorrow, let's do another stream. Catch up more about these coups and things that people need to be. No, let's find out more. Let's dig more into these things. And raise more points that you already raised and add to it. I know now we just press for time, but I want to just bring Dr. K.
Kaizo's here.
Yeah, he's here.
Yeah, he's there.
So,
salute. How is everyone?
Kaizo,
hey, man,
how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm healthy. I'm fat and flourishing. I can't complain too much about life.
It's great. It's great to hear your voice again, man. I guess we joined at the same time today.
You too. Yeah, long time. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Just got a lot of things that I need to put together, and there are a lot of things that I call them chicken nuggets, and I think Ridge knows about that. When I'll tell you about those. Basically, there's a lot of technology out there, and anything that we try to build to construct, anything that's you're going to be saying on these platforms, found out there's a code in chicken nuggets. So chicken nuggets usually shut down the AI. You understand? So you say anything, you say chicken nugget is gone. It's not going to be recorded.
Okay, I see. That makes sense actually. Yeah.
Yep.
And also, how is the other Ezra, and also was it Mondatezi still here, or
Yeah, still here.
Teddy is there.
Okay. Yeah. Long time, brother. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I've been good. I've been great as well. I was listening to you. Was it this past week, or when was it? When you're also on the show with His Excellency Mika. Great points that you raised.
Yeah.
But Tezi can also vouch for himself, and I think you and Tezi should meet up when you're in Nairobi, man. Tezi has moved from the coast, unless if he's planning to move back to the coast, because he's a coastal guy, you know. Nairobi
he likes that easy life.
Yeah, man. Nairobi is a very interesting city, but you know, coast life, slow life. Coast has its beauty.
I know you did walk all the way to Moyale.
Yeah, you know, I can't walk like that in Nairobi. You can't walk at 4 a.m. in Nairobi. You know?
Hey, listen, you walk there, you come back, no clothes, nothing, right?
Exactly. Good time. That was a good time. That was a very good time.
and Tezi, you know, such things. When you back in Mombasa, you're gonna feel like, hey man, the day when you back there, maybe for let's say a week or so, and you wanna take your walk, you'll be like, hey man, is it safe here? things still same, you know, because you kind of lost touch with the things, you know.
The paranoia. They'll be carrying that paranoia. And I was like, yeah, you know.
Yeah, that city paranoia thing, you know, you kind of keep your, you know, your gut up.
Yeah.
It's okay. What's up? What's up, man?
Yeah, I was wondering, like, did you guys, you know, find out that the coup leader is actually a cousin to Ali Bongo?
What?
Yeah, I was just doing some reading and I found some sources, and I can put it in the back chat actually. But yeah, according to that source, now I haven't verified the source obviously, but according to the source, I found out that the coup leader, his name is Obtrice, some other names I can't pronounce, but basically there is a connection between him and the actual Bongo family, right? That's actually a cousin. So that to me, it's a development that I'm not too. Yeah, it's actually from Al Jazeera. Let me just send the document in the back chat. So having that definitely makes me reconsider some things about this coup. I have my own analysis, my own feelings and thoughts, but it's leading me to think. This is just my own intuition, my idea that some of perhaps the country they're trying to free themselves from is actually orchestrating this one. You know, I don't know. I've just sent in the back chat. But if you search out cousin Control-F, you'll see that the guy is related to the Ali Bongo.
Yeah,
so I'm not sure what you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, what I can think of is like Vladimir is like a very popular names in Russia and in Ukraine. You know what I'm saying? And what is the popular? It's like the Bava and Kabada in Ethiopia. You know what I mean? These are kind of common names. Some people will take that name, you know, just because they're fame. You know, the president. I mean, these guys got the presidency what 68 years, 60
Right.
years or something like that. Some crazy from father to son. You know what I mean? And people will name, you know, the last name. It's a whole generation. You know what I mean? And they will call him Bongo. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm gonna call him Bongo. Bongo will have another child. Last name become Bongo, or something like that. You know, I don't know how Gabon last name comes, because in Ethiopia, you take your first name of your father. You know what I mean? It's not that the last name of the grandfather. You know what I mean?
Right. That's okay.
I'm just throwing it out there just to make sure that you know, this is a source that is really clearly has lineage to that family. You know what I mean? So if not, it becomes a family feud. You understand? It's just one taking over from the other one, and something to again, you know, coup d'etats are very, very, you know, volatile. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, so far the last, not really last, but the Sudanese coup, like the way you see it, is military, and now another military goes up, and the other one is going, hell, nope, I'm going to do it. It didn't work. You see, it's still under military. So we have to watch it, and at the same time, we have to look at the Ethiopian history on when the coup d'etat came in. What was the focus of that coup d'etat? Is to bring down the His Majesty and bring him down and take on over, and we're going to do better? No, what it became is we're going to focus into the war against Eritrea. So the focus was not really about the people, but it was the focus of the arms and the flow of arms and all that toward another province at that time. Eritrea was a province of Ethiopia. So he put all his effort in that war, which created a vacuum and drafts and all that. You know, even kids of eighth graders and stuff like that, they're not even, you know, finish their puberty. They didn't even begin their puberty, and they were leashed out to the war zone. So if it is something that is going to be in the interest of the people, right now, from what I see, Benin, Mali, they're not about conquering a province or whatever internal, but they have also what you call a built-in terrorist group that the country was fighting. Okay, You can call them Boko Haram, you can call them ISIS, you can call them whatever. And sometimes these are pretty much, as we know, chicken nugget and is created, you know, for the purpose of saying, oh, you know, we're defending. But actually, you're just watching the security of the country.
I see. Okay, I see your point, right? So these chicken nuggets are out here developing. You know, I don't know if it's going to be the highest quality free range chicken nugget or if it's a battery farm chicken nugget. You know, that's the question here that we have to know about. This situation, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's up to us now to dig certain facts and lay it out. And this is the way it happened, and just the way you just source it out. You know, we need to know more on what's happening, because this is not gonna stop just the way you're looking at it. When all these people go like, oh, Mali, oh my God, oh Burkina Faso, Guinea, oh now Niger, oh my God, now it's Gabon. Gabon woke me up. That's what I said. Gabon is like Gabon. It's like it's a big boom. Now they're gonna have to say, you know, this thing might not stop. You see, it might not stop. And again, you know, it's not. Again, we had this discussion before. It's not about the West. It's about Africa. It's us. We're responsible and accountable for our own actions too. If somebody handle you a money and it tells you, oh, I just give it to you. Oh, you're gonna say he's very kind, but at the same time, we're gonna say why, right? Depending on what situation you've been given that money.
This is true.
And Pastor Israel talked about it. You know, when we got an invention and you want to really sell that invention, and one man will say no to your product, it doesn't mean everybody don't want your product. It's just you're gonna keep on pushing. So that means we're gonna do a lot of homework, a lot of understanding of where this information is coming, why you've been turned down, and you reevaluate and come to another decision or another way of doing business. Same thing here, you know, because Africa is deep in human resource and natural resource.
Right.
It is how we're going to balance these two. Who's profiting? Is the country profiting? Check mark. Yes or no? No. That means you're not making any difference whether they exploit you or not. But if you say it's profiting, that means I want to see some changes on the ground, especially when it comes to the basic necessity. Basics. And when we talk about basic necessity, that would eliminate all this health issue, because now you got sewer systems, now you got electricity, now you got clean water, and that will keep our healthy Africans. If that is not maintained and they're not getting anything out of that sale or export, then you have to question it. Where the money goes? Where did you distribute this money? And again, when it comes to the Frenchies ex-colonies, they exploit them not only from the resource, but also the resource that mineral resource that they sold that has to go to the central bank of France for years, ever since independence. So now we're going to reevaluate on West Africa, really, who are the new leaders and what they're next. And at the same time, we as Africans, we have the accountability to ask them, what's next step? What are you going to do? So when we keep those guys in question, and the answer that we're going to receive from them has to really become the facts on the ground and to be easily verified, because the people will speak. It's the people that's going to come out on the street that what they want is what they want. Now, the next one is Togo. Togo has been on the uprise for a long time.
Yeah.
With the impartation there. So
that's
now,
true.
And they see this thing is happening. You know, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised, because Gabon was really the big boom for the Frenchies right now, and for the whole ex-colonies, they're rethinking who are in the EU pocket, who's the one that's receiving that benefit. Why is it ECOWAS was built the way it's built? That's a question. Who they are benefiting as an ECOWAS? I didn't see any changes on the ground. People still starving. People still poor. Nothing is changing. What is that, 10 years now? We didn't see any changes. But
yeah, this is true. Yeah.
Niger, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, Guinea, they're trying to make a change. So this is something new for us. But so far, the way I see their leadership, the way they have the cooperation, including to defend Niger from Burkina Faso and Mali, that shows you strength. And I don't know, Tunaja is not on the show, but if he listens, this is the time where you need your your military put together. You know what I mean? Because it's a military regime, and they know how to really source out and collaborate with each other and have this strong military. Chicken nugget.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I just want to give Ochechukwu a chance to join us. I know we don't really have a lot of time, but I think we'll probably today or tomorrow, for those depending on where you are. For some of us in Central and East Africa, we're already on a Thursday. I know Kechuki, if he's in Nigeria, it's still Wednesday evening. But what I'm gonna do is I'll give Ochechukwu a chance as well. But today or tomorrow we should I think we'll do a follow-up series on this, and then I'll bring more people in. Then we can really have a long discussion. I know right now we've been just doing like small when it comes to this, where they were allowing only one person, but today I just felt like some voices and stuff. But maybe tomorrow we'll just come in here as a group and just press on this issue and really get more detail about it. But Ochechukwu, welcome, brother.
Hey, good evening, brother. Great Africans. Great Africans.
welcome.
When I woke up this morning, I got the news. I was so happy. I think African is waking up gradually, and I pray that God will continue to uplift us. I think the eyes are opening now, and we are just hoping and looking forward for Congo and Cameroon, because they are close to Gabon, and Nigeria is in just gunpowder. We are just watching what is happening, and we don't know who next. And I know before the end of this year, more Africans military will take over. I think it's a welcome development for African continent. I think enough is enough. Like what I said earlier, a couple of days ago, enough is enough. The West have used us, and they have pushed us to the world, and now we are reacting. And France is doing as if is their fatherland. After taking our resources, and they will tell Africans that you are poor. You take our resources, you come back, you call us names, manage our resources for us, whatever thing you give to us, and you say we shouldn't take. You can't beat a child and tell a child not to cry. It's impossible. And one thing is this. Look at this. Look at the ECOWAS. What is the agenda of forming ECOWAS? Who wrote the policy of ECOWAS? Who wrote the policy of AU?
is the same West. It's the West. I think what is happening now is giving me joy, a great joy. To be honest with you, it's giving me a great joy, and I think by the coming months, more things are going to unfold because I see it coming. I see it coming. I see it coming. With this Gabon now, France has lost 4 countries out of the 16 in Kharkiv for over how many years now? 5 is off from it, remaining 11. By God's grace, more are coming to unfold. I greet every one of you. I think this is a celebration for Africa as a continent. I know our Black Americans are seeing what is happening. I listened to somebody because for a couple of weeks now, I just devote myself to, go through the histories and all that, and I'm seeing a lot of things that are hidden. God has blessed us with whatever we can think of. But the issue is this. The leaders that are forcing themselves through the West became the puppies of the West, killing their own brothers, enslaving their own brothers to reach themselves. Look at what is happening in Gabon. His father has ruled for over how many years? Over 40-something years. The son took over. I was watching some videos today. When somebody is on stroke, he don't want to hand over power. He nearly fell down when he went to France. It's not a shameful thing. It's very, very shameful thing. People that are supposed to answer us, they're supposed to be a slave to us, is the people that we are being slave to. After they have told us that, giving us independence, and they are still colonizing us in a different way, in a different form. Our own people will call our leaders, and they are leading us into grave. No, it has stopped. I thank God that the African youths are woken up. Look at the guys that are taking over now. Young military guys. Very, very young military guys. This guy that took over now from Gabon, I don't know how old he is. I think this guy should be in 40s. Should be in 40s. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. What is happening in the African continent now has never happened before. And they cannot kill us the way they use our people to kill us. As soon as you rise up to fight them, they will kill you. They will plot coup through our own brothers to eliminate us. I think it has to stop. It has to stop. Libya have never gotten up since they killed Gaddafi. Libya have never risen since they killed Gaddafi because they know what that guy could have done. US is owing that guy. France is owing that guy. And they know what that guy could have done because he wants to liberate his people. And they're using our best friends, our best brothers to kill us, to eliminate us because we want to say the truth. I think I will stop here. I have other brothers on the line. Like you said, tomorrow we are going to make this thing we are going to look into so many things around African continent. Thank you very much, and I appreciate.
And tomorrow, before I go to Express or English, I'd love to ask something that for tomorrow as well. You can maybe give me a short answers for all of you guys. But let me give. I'll ask this question. Just give it a thought before Express, and then we're gonna close with this question. And tomorrow we'll just continue and build up on it. my question is it's a question, just an observation from an observation perspective is, are we seeing the fall of long-term leadership in Africa? And we've seen some long-serving presidents fall into coups or even uprisings in their countries. You just mentioned Gaddafi. I know that we can say the US, the French sponsored that uprising and took him out. But we've seen it. I mean, even in Zimbabwe, the president also uprising out. Are we seeing that? I mean, and you see some of those other countries that we've seen now, like long-serving presidents really being taken out in a miserable way. When they started, they were praised, but then their last days were not good. Those who stayed long. What do we? I want us to also talk about the long-term serving presidents. Is it right? I mean, there's a lot of them in the continent. We talked about the Togo. You just mentioned Togo. We talked about now Gabon, and I also mentioned earlier. I said this thing it can be a wildfire. Cameroon is one of them. With the
over 30 years.
Over 30 years.
Yes.
Just there next to Gabon again, we have Equatorial Guinea. I know it's not a French country, but there's a long-serving president next door. We have our lovely even Rwanda. We know that these leaders have been nominated. We're not saying they're not elected leaders, but this long thing somehow, like even now, I mean, Gabon, there was supposedly election, but now
on Saturday, they had election on Saturday, and that election was rigged.
Exactly.
That election was rigged.
So, and we go further. We go to Uganda. We can mention we go to Eritrea. There's a lot. I mean, we saw Sudan as well, losing a president, a long-serving president. So, is this the fall of the long-serving presidents in Africa? I just want everyone to think about it even tomorrow. But then I'll just give Espresso to put his input about Gabon, and then you guys can close with something short, and then tomorrow we'll also build on this, what I've asked about long-serving president. Espresso English, welcome. Sister, brother, I'm not sure.
Thank you. Thank you,
brother.
All right. Thank you for giving me a chance. I'm really happy for West African brothers. The military that's taking care of their people. But when you mention which is the next supposed to be, you jump currently killing and massacring the people using by drone is Ethiopian Prime Minister. At least the other one, which is this removed by military, they don't have any active genocide. This Ethiopian leader, since he came to power, he just jumped from region to region. He did a lot of things. Right now, he just now like he acting like crazy. He using all what his power and to kill users and the mothers. I don't know.
Brother Espresso, I'm sorry to kind of cut you off, because today I just want us, we'll come to Ethiopia. I know that it's an issue that some people have raised, but can we just more focus on Gabon for tonight, and then maybe that we'll catch some other day. We will still come back to Ethiopia and discuss.
I start.
Now can we just focus on Gabon? Gabon, what's happening there?
I start talking because based on your mention of country, it's supposed to be removed. Why you scared? I know some Ethiopian pro-government working with you guys. You have to be honest. That's why the African Union always puppet for Western. They don't decide anything. They don't have any investigation to what's happening in each country. Only when Westerns push them to do something, they go to our negotiation stuff. But when something, this genocide happened, no single African country speak. African Union just a year, 2 time or 1 time sit at Addis Ababa. I don't know, they have just coffee and they don't do nothing. I wish all African leader removed by their military and please say stop Amhara genocide. our people is dying, guys. We are not afraid about blaming white people, but we are afraid blaming our killers. That's we supposed to be honest if we're really talking about blackness, about African. Thank you so much.
Okay, yeah, we're not scared, Espresso. We will discuss some of those issues. It's just for now, for tonight and for this week, we are covering more about Gabon and the French-speaking countries. What's been happening there in those countries? We know that what you're saying is also valid, but let's have we'll have a session for such issues. That's why I just wanted us to focus on this because we're gonna be closing very soon.
Thank you.
So it has nothing to do with being scared or anything like that. We do welcome everyone's comment, brother.
Thank you. Have a good one. Congratulations to Gabon and the rest of other African countries. Bye.
Just to let you know, my brother, talking about the issues in Ethiopia, it's a bigger issue. It takes time, and we all need to talk about it and bring it into light on what's going on. So it never been in the Swahili Nation, One Africa, no African land have ever been ignored. I don't know if you follow Mika. Mika raised the issue about tribalism and how not to be tribal, just being as a nation. He raised a lot of questions in the past. I don't know if you follow Swahili Nation, but Mika, His Excellency, brought up these issues before. And at the same point, I just want to make sure that you understand Ethiopia had the youngest leader. He was 45 when he came into. So that means it doesn't mean the age of being young and old, and it's how you lead your country. I just want to tap that in on your comment.
He been 5 years, but he destroyed Ethiopia more than TPLF, who's staying 27 years.
I know.
We'll have this conversation. I think, Espresso, I would love to have you when we discuss this issue more in depth about Ethiopia as issues and stuff. I know you're not the first one to raise this issue. There used to be a brother called African Farm. I'm not sure if you are.
I am, by the way, I'm African farmer. I'm African farmer. My account is.
Oh, yeah, African farmer. Oh my God. Hey, now we understand. You know.
Now we see you. Now we see you.
I had suspected it was African farmer, but I just kept quiet.
I was like, man, there was a brother who sounded like him. You know,
It's another family. You've been hiding.
Yeah, because when they attack me, that some Ethiopian who's working here, they just tell to Mika to block, because even I was not saying anything bad, but something they mislead him. Otherwise, still I love Mika. I like the Swahili Nation, but something wrong. I know our games, but it's okay. Thank you so much.
You know, hey, Africa, listen. You know how we operate. You know we are honest, and we are brutally honest. You know we fight for this cause. You know that. Because remember that there were some instances where we want to block you, but we cannot block you because you have to. Yeah, it's your opinion. And then you remember we had a deep conversation about these issues.
Yeah, but now it's very, very more serious. You know.
Now it's different. You know I know. You know it's different now. But again, today let's stick to this Gabon issue. Because you understand what happened.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, now I know who you are now. Espresso.
Away again. Forever changing names.
So you know what is happening in Gabon? What is happening in Gabon is so overdue. Okay, and this current president, the father ruled Gabon from 1967 to 2019.
Yeah.
And hand over to his son. And the guy has already ruled almost, this year now is making it 13 years the guy has ruled. I mean, their country and they're still in poverty.
Again, you know, I just want to follow up on what Kaizo put in on the link, you know, because it goes from one bongo to another bongo.
Exactly.
So,
exactly. So that seat is not meant for only that family.
But again, you know, but again, you know, again, a much better bongo might show up because you cannot shut it down. You see what I mean?
No.
Much better.
Now, for now, that family is shut down.
You know,
there's something I want to say. I want to say here. Maybe we'll look at it. Maybe furthermore. You see, all these people that, all these old leaders that are put, let's say, poverty and undeveloped. Okay. Just to enrich their pockets and serve their West masters. I think I should think, if you ask me, if military take over, they shouldn't spare them. They should not spare them. After everything, they should not spare them.
Right.
They should face the law. They should face the consequences. Because it's a betrayal. Because if I allow them to exist, after a couple of years, they will still have people that will also be under them. They will start to groom people that was going to take over again, and the same thing continues. But if you eliminate them, people will be scared and say, if we do this type of thing, and if military take over, we are not going to survive. Honestly speaking. Because if you allow them to,
I'll give you one idea. For example, you know, again, like I said, you know, I'm not pro coup d'etat. You understand? In general, all African countries should have in their constitution, if you're gonna come in a coup d'etat, okay, on an elect president or prime minister, you will face consequence for not defending the Constitution.
But you know the problem?
Meaning for any military leader coming in and say, I'm going to take over. Maybe it might be another military company that's going to come and wants to take over on this military company. So what's going to happen is, in between, the people of the country are suffering. So in the constitution of all African countries, if you come in as a coup d'etat, you take full responsibility of what's going on to your people and what you're going to be doing for your people. You're still accountable more than the elect president. You understand? Because the people voted, whether you like it, it's been cheated, it's been forced, whatever that you do, right? Then this uprises, if it is not really put in concrete to make sure the people understand what's going on, because people have enough. They had enough. From here, he's got to borrow 2 Johns, 2 Peters in order to pay another Michael. You understand? They're trying to survive on this free land that Xavier gave them to live, and they're not living free. They cannot even eat. You understand? So any coup d'etat that's going to happen, like I said, you know, in the framework, each country should have a consequence. If you're the coup d'etat leader and you're going to be doing the best you can for your people, that's the people that's going to judge you. But if you're not going to relinquish that power within a certain period of time for a vote, you understand? It's not going to be like 5 years term or whatever. It should be within 12 months that it has to transition. Let the people decide their fate. If they like the coup leader, they can vote for him. If there's an opposition, they can vote for the opposition. If you take it a long term, more than 1 year or 18 months, then it becomes corrupt. You understand? I've seen it.
Now,
I've seen it on every coup d'etat.
I agree with you. I agree with you. But the problem we are having now is this. I understand what you are saying correctly. But the problem we are having is this. The constitution that we are using in Africa was given to us by the West. And they put their conditions there.
And that's where we make our condition.
Now,
this is where we're going to change.
Yes, they interfere in our elections. How many African countries or Africa as a continent have interfered in the West election before? It never happened. It never happened. Even though the constitution they are using now in ECOWAS was written by the West. Even though in AU was written by the West.
And that's why they didn't protect. Listen, the corrupt didn't even protect themselves. You see?
Yes, that is the problem.
They didn't protect themselves. And they're losing countries left and right.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So we need to change that narrative. We need to change the narrative and write our own constitution by our own self and do the election. You must abide. If you don't, you face the consequences.
I think for me, we have the resource.
Exactly.
We have a lot of smart people. I mean, we have a lot of smart people.
Exactly.
And assign, imagine on any election in Africa, okay? We got what, 54? We got 54 countries?
Yes, 55. Right? 55.
Yeah, there's 55. You know, it's 55. You understand? There's an issue on that part. I'm not going to start. But again, if we get 1/3 of African country witnessing the election.
Yeah.
Africa made by Africans. Exactly. If we have our own people, election. I'm talking about just, let's say, give 10 countries, okay? African countries. They become the witnesses about how this election went on. If they find anything, it has to be investigated. And that's unity. When each other cares for each other and they see how this election is going on, not because it's been a long term, like it's been assigned the whole country. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, you know, there's a lot of countries. In fact, Eritrea is one of the longest running also as a president. But at the same time, he had a lot of fire to put out. A lot of fire. And at the same time, his high iron fist, he wants to make the next generation ready. It's like Moses. Moses cannot go to Israel because that generation has to pass. A good leader that doesn't have no corruption, so far that I know, in my entire life that I know about the president of Isaias, I had my issue against him. I got my own personal things, but at the same time, overall, when I look at him, I said, this guy has nothing to show where he said, you know, he's got money. We've seen it.
Yeah.
It was televised. We've seen how he surprised his wife in his house with Abiy. He's got a prime minister from another country in his house while his wife didn't make her makeup or hair done or presentable as a wife of a president. He just showed how he lived. And for us, you know, yes, why these kind of leaders are very important for us, because they know how to fight Chicken Nugget West. You understand?
Yeah.
They know how to be strong, and with all this 20 years of sanctions and everything. Example, you know what I'm saying? I just don't want to talk about it too much about it. But again, 20 years of sanction and surviving it and being what it is now, it's amazing. So at the same time, all these countries now in the West Coast, in the West Africa, they have sanctions left and right.
Exactly.
And made by whom? Made by whom? By ECOWAS.
ECOWAS.
Yes.
And who is ECOWAS? Who is ECOWAS? The West.
Look at Nigeria. Look at Nigeria now. The Nigerian leader.
Okay.
I mean,
He wasn't voted for. He wasn't voted for because the West is backing him up.
Yep. That's what I'm talking about now. Tomorrow,
Exactly,
I think I want to let Pastor Israel. I know Pastor Israel. You know when I start, I can go 11 hours, right? But,
exactly.
This clock.
We'll convert tomorrow.
And
we need to know the time tomorrow to convert tomorrow. What time tomorrow?
I was thinking maybe same time. 9 p.m. East African time. 8 p.m. Central. And I think where are you connecting from? Are you in West Africa? Uchechugu? Or are you overseas?
West Africa.
You're in West Africa?
Yes, Nigeria.
Nigeria, to be okay.
Yeah,
You're like 2 hours. Like it's supposed to be like 6 p.m. Your time, local time. And I know Biggie is like in the afternoon. Is there in the US? But
yeah, 2 o'clock.
So 2 p.m. That's Eastern time, Biggie, right? You're not in the West,
Eastern time. Yeah,
Eastern time. So. And our brother, it should be like 6 p.m. Your time, your local time there, Uchechuku.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, how about Kaiser?
Kaiser, he sent me a message. I'll talk to him during the day as well. I think he'll also be joining us.
Okay.
So we should do something like this. Then we can do a round table talk and then get more detail because I know now I'm just rushing.
I got a lot of homework. right now.
Exactly.
A lot of, because we want to put again, my brother, the Swahili Nation One Africa, we're brutally honest. We're gonna bring out and lay out whatever that we found, and all the information is gonna be broadcast to all Africans to listen to. There's a lot of. We had a very, very successful year, and at the same time, we're always born of successful people because the people makes what people makes out of Swahili Nation. Because Swahili Nation, with no other support that we have no other support but among us, among each other. We have a lot of the spectrum that we're trying to reach and make sure. And one of the things I have a little bit of my own issue that. Bring it out where I want it to be yet to be coming. But at the same time, again, today, like I said, Gabon woke me up. So I'm like, no,
honestly,
the homework. I can do my homework. I can do my homework on the fly and make sure that I have the real facts laid out and help all my brothers and sisters that are out there. Because you know what? One small word that you're gonna give to your people, even to advance one small step, is better than nothing.
Exactly.
Each of us are accountable for our people. Each of us, I always said we don't need so many leaders. I don't need 1.3 billion people to be leaders. You understand? It's impossible. It's impossible. But I want to feel like a leaders on each corner that they live. Each person, 1.3 billion Africans, each individual, I want them to understand they are the master of their own houses. And we want to live by that everybody is a master in his home.
Yeah, sure.
But this time, we want to make sure they got food. We want to make sure they got electricity, basic utility, basics, clean water. For me, more than the electricity, I want the clean water.
Where the youth will be working. Do you know that in Africa, Africa is big. Let me just say Nigeria. Do you know that we don't even produce anything? There is no fact that we don't produce anything. Everything that we use in Nigeria here is imported. Apart from Innocent now that is building cars in Nigeria, how many of Nigerians governors or in government that patronize that guy? None. None. which is very, very wrong.
Yep.
We're busy buying
I want to wrap it up. I want to wrap it up for
wrap it up. Let us make it a day.
Let's make a date.
Yeah.
Let's make a date tomorrow. Let's do our homework, due diligence. Number one on the subject is going to be Gabon and all the other African leadership. We're going to talk about the one that's going to be old presidents that's been there for a long time, and what the fate is going to wait for them, because all these people that's crying, it has an effect. So let's do our homework diligently tomorrow. Come up and spell it out. Let's learn from each other. Let's put all that information, and that will give us a clue on where we're headed from West Africa, because West Africa is the other wing.
Yeah.
You got the East Africa, the other wing. The south is the tail, and the center is the whole thing that put together.
Exactly.
All right.
Okay, brothers. Let's call it a night.
Ezra, a little prayer.
Yeah, sure. It's already 12 o'clock. After 12.
Yep.
From here.
Okay. I'll just close in prayer. And thank you for the family that joined us tonight. And thank you for those who've been participating on the comment section. Thank you for your input. Join us again today or tomorrow, depending where you're connecting from. We will be continuing on this conversation about African leadership, more specifically looking at coups and long-serving presidents, and solutions as well. We're not coming to just complain, but let's show one another what we can do. Let's come up with ways of bringing stability to our lovely continent in this coming session. Thank you, Biggie. Thank you, Uche, for being here. Thank you, Mendatezi, Dr. K, and African Farmer for joining us. It was a pleasure speaking to most of you guys tonight. But let's continue this conversation. Let's come up with more and invite your friends, family, those who are in the comment section. Share the links. Subscribe if you've not subscribed. Share the links whenever we go live. Share the links with family and friends. Let's spread the word, and let us come up with solutions for Africa. Let us build this beautiful continent. Thank you, and I'm just going to close in prayer. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for this session that you've blessed us with. Thank you for our brothers and sisters who participate. Thank you, Father, for loving us, and thank you for giving us your mercy and your time to share ideas as brothers and sisters. As we part ways, bless each and every one of us in our day-to-day tasks and chores and whatever that we'll be busy with until we meet again. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen, my brother. Thank you so much. Beautiful.
You say?
Amen.
I say in my own local language,
You say? Okay.
That's my own local language, because that language had been there over 500 years ago. So the words cannot take it away from me. Honestly speaking.
You said? You say?
Yes. You say.
Type it in the chat.
Okay, I will do that. That what it means is the say is just you put ISEE.
Oh, ISEE.
Yeah, ISEE. You say. Yeah.
I mean, I like that. Actually, what he said, I just turned around and said amen without even consciously or subconsciously thinking.
No. And that's what it means. That's what it means. The amen.
Yeah, that's what I said. What he said,
exactly.
he say, and then the next thing I said is amen.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. Excellent. Mendatezi is still there?
Now Mendatezi is out. He's gone to sleep. He's no longer in Mumbai. He's no longer in the coast. He can't walk.
Hey, he probably walked to Moyale now. I just reminded him the old one. All right, guys.
Good night, brothers.
Pastor Ezra, I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me. And my brother right here, I really appreciate you. And what's your
Thank
name,
you.
my brother? I didn't get the your name.
Uche Chuku is my name.
Chuku, right?
Uche Chuku.
Uchu Chuku.
Yes.
Excellent.
God's will.
All right, Uchu Chuku. Nice
Yeah.
meeting you. All right.
Thank you, brother.
Another
Thank
family
you, brother.
member. Thank you so much for all the support.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And everybody on Swahili Nation that listen to this, please like. I don't ask you to subscribe, just like. Because this algorithm is very, very important. It's not about subscription. If you like it, if you want to really be notified, just subscribe and you'll be notified.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Without it, we're not going to be the one that we are the one that's going to be bringing the facts and the shows and everything else that we have and that we hear. And we have a lot of participants that are really motivated, Africans by Africans, and we'll have others that are really come from the islands, from the other Asian Pacific, that support the cause of Swahili Nation for one Africa. So subscribe if you can. But the best thing that I say right now while you're listening, just put a like. That's all. That's all I need. Just a like. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure.
Pastor Ezra,
Thank you.
Wish you a good night.
It's my pleasure.
Chuku,
good night.
Nice meeting you. Have a good night. Thank you.
Good night, dear. God bless you.
Good night. God bless you.
Night. Yeah. Bye.
Right. Thank you, family. And just in closing, Galio Rieng, I think you've missed. We raised some of those leaders. Join us tonight. Tonight, if you're in Africa, join us this Thursday, 8 p.m. Central African time, 9 p.m. East African time. We'll be talking more about long-serving presidents as well tomorrow. So I think you missed out a lot. Come tomorrow or go and watch this stream after now. You'll be able to hear what we talked about. We've covered most of what you maybe even saying us being whatever, but come and join us tomorrow and come and hear different views from different Africans and different people who'll be joining us. From us, the Swahili Nation, we love you, family. Subscribe, share the links, like, keep supporting us, and let's keep on enlightening one another. From me, it's shalom and good night, family.